Been dragging the bottom for oh so long, but I can't feel it.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show, along with Olivia Spear, my beautiful compatriot.
Compatriot?
Compatriot. Do we need to do a dictionary check, or are we good? Do you trust me?
I trust you, I just don't know what it means.
Do you want the literal definition, or do you want me to give you
The layman's term definition.
Why the layman?
Because it's for all us, rednecks that can't speak eloquently like you.
It is a person who is a fellow citizen, a fellow patriot, a compatriot.
Got it.
Something to think about. Welcome, everybody, once again. A lot going on in the world. I'll be honest with you, I am completely disenfranchised with this news cycle, and I'm just tired. I'm tired of just we can't get out of our own way as Republicans, as Trump supporters, and somebody's got to say it. I'm going to say it because, maybe I just never, ever want to go mainstream. Maybe I just want to continue to put myself in the middle and call balls and strikes and just, who knows? We'll find out. 3 minutes. Should be fun.
It's Red Friday, RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
When you get a sec, check out my buddy Matthew Spear over there at the Dumb Show. Dumbshow.com. Get to see people like yours truly right here. Maybe that's a reason for you to not check it out. But check it out anyway. There's a lot of people better than me on there that a lot better stories. But check them out, dumbshow.com. Matt, take care, buddy. God bless you, everyone. When you get it.
Adjusting transmitter output.
What about that?
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest,
I was just like, oh, yeah.
direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
You know what I love about Fridays?
You get to see me for 48 hours straight.
Yeah, but that's not that you can't lead with that. You got to say, "Oh, Red Friday," or "It's the weekend." No, it's like I miss you when you're gone. You know,
That's
I'm gonna miss you when you're gone.
Hey, would you like a cup?
Honk honk, I miss you when you're gone.
jeez. Oh, it's gonna be one of those
I
weekends.
miss you when you're.
Although tomorrow morning it's gonna be like I'm going to work again, so I'm gonna be out of the house at 7:50.
What's going on tomorrow?
I'm getting the car oil changed. In the
Oh,
car.
you know what? Just do it next week. Just
No,
cancel it. Give yourself a
there's
break.
there's an appointment available.
All right, just
It's
take whatever.
$50 cheaper than doing it at Jiffy Lube.
Maybe I'll
And
wake
if-
up with you and I'll take you and I'll get your oil changed. We'll check your pipes and your valves
Sounds good.
and your gaskets, and then we'll go to breakfast at Tammy's. How does that
Sounds
sound?
good. Also, we might be out of town next week, the following weekend. So that's why I'm like,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, it needs, before we go anywhere, we need to get an oil change. So
You know,
getting it done.
Today, first of all, thank you, everybody. We will not be doing a Gold Star Family show tonight because we did it with Ryan Weaver the night before last. So that is going to take the Gold Star Family, segment that we usually do, and we did it with Ryan Weaver. So that takes care of that. But it is Red Friday, and we always try to recognize veterans, and that's why we have Tonto, and that's why we talk about things like this on the show. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little melancholy. Can I be honest?
Why?
Well, I don't want to complain.
Why don't you want to complain?
Oh, honey, thanks for I didn't think you would ever ask. Listen, I got to see something today at the onset that I'll be honest with you, I didn't like. And
At the onset?
at the beginning.
Oh.
Jeez, are we going to have to thesaurus the show
Yes.
tonight?
Yes, we are. Because seriously, I'm like,
I always
what?
talk like this. You've been with me for freaking a quarter of a century plus. Okay.
When you put it that way, holy cow.
Yeah, I told right.
Jeez, a whole quarter of a century.
True.
Oh.
All right. So here's it's not money. The money's good and the donations are awesome and there's no concern about that. We're feeling, we're getting the show we're getting the show paid for, having a little bit extra to survive and enjoy our life. Everything's good. And it's not the love life and it's not marriage and it's not the kids. Well, there's not much I can do about those. I tried to convince her we should have went to Greece instead, but whatever. But it's kind of a little frustrating. And I made the mistake today. I started comparing my numbers. And I'm very, very pleased with where we're at. I mean, we're spanking quite a few people as far as our overall interaction. Our interaction percentage is ridiculous. Like, it really is. We'll post a video, and it won't do very well on Twitter because for some reason, long-form videos, at least mine, don't do well. And YouTube sucks. But they get some love on Wimkin. They get some love on Rumble. They get some love, a lot of love on Facebook. And even Instagram's doing well. But it's frustrating when I look at the content that some people do. And I'm not going to go into specifics, but I was watching this one content creator and he's like, it's a zoomed in picture of his face. And it's all, Photoshop and Premiere and there's filters all over it and he's like essentially just take something from Charlie Kirk or Steve Bannon or any of the the big content creators and literally just regurgitates it and slaps a new label on it. And basically it's the shtick that we already shot down on this show, where Donald Trump did this just so he could blackmail people to sign the big, beautiful bill, and he could control world leaders, knowing they would never see the inside of a U.S. courtroom. But he didn't release the Epstein stuff just so he basically could blackmail people for leverage. And this video is leverage. There's more than one way to win. And I'm not going to rip. I'm not going to rip on this person because I've already done that in the past. And honestly, he seems like a really good dude now that I've had a chance to look at him. And I've been following his page for the last few weeks, and I've got nothing to hold against him. He's a decent content creator. He's a good guy trying to be, and I'm not here to knock on him. I'm just like, dude, I know you didn't come up with that. And I know you didn't write that. And I know you didn't make that. Then why are you stealing it and taking somebody else's credit and pulling a Benny Johnson?
A lot of people don't have ethics in this business.
I mean, listen, look, you guys see my show. When there's something that I didn't create, whether it's a cool video or when we would, whatever it was, we would show like the B2s coming in. I'm like, I didn't make this graphic, but you can go here and find it here. Or it's GBI Global that made this or this. I always give credit to content creators. I'm like, hey, go join this person. I don't know who they are. But even the shitbags I do that with, even like Destiny, I put out his tag on Twitter. And I try to do the best that I can. But it gets frustrating. And you got to ask yourself the question after you look at all your channels and go, and there's growth. There's growth on Facebook. There's growth on Rumble. Wimkin is great. And X is doing great on the live shows. All those things are positive. But when's the blow up going to happen? Or are you kidding yourself and you're just basically, there's not enough of telling people what they want to hear for you to actually crack the ceiling? Because the one thing that all content creators have in common, from Candace Owens to Ben Shapiro to Charlie Kirk to Steve Bannon to Destiny to the Young Turks to Piers Morgan, is they tell their audience exactly what they want to hear, and they never, ever push back. And there's only so many Dan Bonginos you can have in the world. But when I was sitting here and writing that piece on Dan Bongino today, I was like, you know what? For all these things that I'm saying about Dan Bongino, we have held ourselves to the same level of honor and integrity on our show. And damn it, we deserve more. We deserve more than where we're at. Now, I understand we hit this late in the game. We understand that COVID happened. We know that we were throttled to shit. But you got to start looking and saying, all right, are we doing the right things to grow? And I am really, truly believing that the only way to grow is to do the wrong things.
And is that how we want to grow?
Not at all.
Then I think we are extremely content where we are right now.
Yeah, I got to say the same. But the frustration is still there, right? The frustration.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's still there. You got to be frustrated because you're like, let's just look at the hits we've had. From the Tennessee bombing in the Pac Bell building, that was a massive hit for us. The Baltimore Bridge, a massive hit for us. The coverage on Ukraine and Russia, a massive hit for us. The Trump shooting, a massive hit. The elections, whether it be midterm or primaries or generals, massive hit for us. And there's so many stories that we've gotten right that it's like not even something that I'm tabulating right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you've got people who are not our follower base, you want to take a look at two videos that did well. Take a look at that video about the illegals in Camarillo on the pot farm today. And look at, this is the first video I've ever had that had the level of positivity of Damani's videos. I went on Damani's video and I said, what does Damani do that I don't do that people love him besides the fact that he's black. And let's face it, being a black conservative, that's a cool, it's just like being a veteran in this business.
That's how Candace Owens got big.
Well, Candace Owens got big because she was smart, she was intelligent, she said the right things, and then she went fucking cuckoo. But being a veteran is a huge, huge, huge thing. Being a disabled veteran is a massive thing. But being an African-American Republican is a pretty big thing. And it's not that Damani wins because of that, but it makes you stop and pause and listen. And when you pause and listen to Damani Felder, you're in. And you can't leave because he just sucks you in. And he's so good at it. So I looked at a couple of things and I'm like, okay, Damani doesn't smile. But Damani talks in a way that even if he has it in his head, he understands how to tell people what they don't want to hear in a way where they don't know that they're hearing it. And it's a gift. So when I wrote the Bongino show today, I realized something is that Damani uses his skill set and his gifts. And his gifts are being extremely affable, potent, and real. And my gifts are to have a plethora of information at my fingertips. I am an excellent writer. And I can convey a message in detail if I try to be a little bit more. I don't know how to say this. It's not lowbrow, Liv. I don't want to lower the message, but I do talk over the audience sometimes.
Yes.
And as I'm watching myself, I'm like, today I'm going to write and I'm going to ensure that, 3 to 4 syllables. I'm not going to be a monosyllabic writer, but I'm going to 3 or 4 syllables. Any more than that, and I'm going too far. And I tried to really not dumb it down, but simplify the message that I was trying to make. And I'm telling you, it worked. I think we're sitting at like 18,000 views on that. I haven't had an 18,000 view video in I don't know how long. And there's almost 1,000 likes on it. And people are appreciative. Thank you for the words. It was inspiring. And it's the best I've seen in a long time. No, Bobby says, Matt, be yourself. No, I tried that. That doesn't work, Bobby. I tried the be myself thing. And what I wound up doing was being kind of a bully. And that's not who I am. And it's not what I'm about. So today was a great day. And I saw the connection to an audience that I have not seen in a long time. And I'm not kidding. There are thousands of comments on those videos, and they are all new people. So I have to ask myself the question, is it really the algorithm, or is it the way that we do the show that doesn't reach people by the way that they watch? Because the live show is great. It has a niche audience, but I don't watch live stuff ever. I think the first time I've watched a live show, and I don't know how many years, was when I watched Tim Pool and Damani.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't watch live stuff. I watch recorded stuff. I hate live shows. Hate it. I want to fast forward shit. So I consume media in a different way. So today I tried to do Instagram. I tried to make them 9:16, vertical rectangle. And because that's the way people consume. And I hate those videos. I think they're limiting. It's limiting on the space for the pictures you can put on and video streams. And I think it's horrible. I think it sucks. I hate watching those, but
that's what sells, right?
That's right. So I think it's a mixture of this. Do you have to sell out to be successful? No, but you definitely have to sell the things that will help you reach an audience. So it was a little bit disheartening this morning. But then by the afternoon, I like I always do, I got the things that I needed to feel better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that seems to always happen. James.
I already got him.
Well, hold on. Javina. I'm paying $5,000. $5,000? Well, that would be 5,000 times 5,000 then. because 5,000 grands in the plural means that there's one representing each. So that would be 5,000 times 5,000 multiplicative. If I'm not mistaken, that's 2.5 million. You guys might want to reach out to this guy. I'm paying 5 grands to the first 5 persons. Well, then you have to make that multiplicative. So that would be 25. So now he's giving out 2.5 million to 25 people. But then do we go ahead and times the 25 of the final result times the people? Yes, we would, because it's pluralized. So now you're in the billions. This guy has got some money. We might want to listen to him. To message me, Faith, stay blessed, or add me up. Wow, bro. People are going to run right at you to do that, I'm sure. Do you remember those chain letters you used to get? Like, if you don't send this to 10 people, you're going to die.
Oh, gosh, I hated those. I hated those.
All right.
That's where they started, was those.
Probably. Yeah, and now it's like some Egyptian, uncle of yours sold his salmon farm and wants to give you money and needs your Social Security. Bobby Richardson, donate $51.99 with love. Tthank you for the love. Listen.
Dad, we got another one.
Ding.
$15 from Big Fark.
Dad, we got one from Boise, Ohio now. Dad. You gotta watch Breaking Bad. So listen, this isn't a woe is me. I will be honest with you. It's been really cool to see the reaction from the videos today. If you haven't had a chance to go watch them, go watch them. We're not going to watch them tonight. But there's a whole bunch of shit going on. And pardon the French, but there's a lot of stuff going on. And right now, the rumor mill and the big heavy lift is that Dan Bongino is going to resign from the FBI.
So I got a question for you before we get into the big shit.
Oh, okay.
Since we're just doing I had a question before.
Is that Amazon sent me a refund?
Yeah.
Was that the $89? Yeah, that was for the camera.
Okay.
Good. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question. You said save it for the show. So I'm saving it for the show. So I was going to ask you, have you ever seen a deer stand off to a car before? And it's not a joke. I'm actually asking if you've ever seen this.
I've seen a video of it. And most assuredly, I have seen a hunter get stood up against a doe before. Yes.
It happened to me today.
I also saw it in a lady who was coming out of her garage, and a deer was in the garage with her.
Oh, jeez.
And this deer went absolutely batshit bonkers. Kicked over the trash can, punched a hole in the back of her caravan.
Oh, jeez.
And it was pretty nuts. What? We don't want the cat. No. I don't care. Take her downstairs, please. We'll bring her in about an hour once we, get our juices flowing. Go ahead, Liv.
So one of the houses that I nanny for, I see deer every day. Like yesterday morning, I saw like a 6-point buck on my way, like right next to the house. And then the afternoon, we saw a doe with a brand new baby, super itty bitty, little white dots on it. It was still kind of wobbly, very, very cute. Walk across the entire front yard. Well, on my way home today, there's a deer standing in the middle of the road. And I'm like, okay, let's move. And then it stops, turns at me. And I'm like, I stop like 50 yards away because I'm like, I'm not even going to chance that. It stops and it turns at me and it starts like bowing its head like that. I'm like.
Are you sure it was a doe?
Yes, because guess why she was doing it?
Well, because she had babies.
Her baby walked out right afterwards. And every time that baby took a step, she looked straight at me and started nodding her head.
Did she stamp the ground at all or just move her head?
No, she just moved her head.
It's a doe.
Yeah,
it's a doe. It's a doe. That's what moms do.
And I was like, why is this deer standing in the middle of the road? And I was like, oh, baby is there. And she waited until baby was a good 10 feet off the road. And she gave me one more bow and trampled off in the woods.
Should have shot it. Brought it home.
I don't have my concealed carry with me at that time, but you
probably don't want to use a handgun on a deer.
Probably not.
But these deer out here, you could pretty much hunt with a blow dart.
Freaking baseball bat.
Yeah,
they're everywhere. We had like a herd of like 15 outside the house yesterday. Ash was going nuts, in, out.
Yeah. All right.
And I realized there was deer everywhere.
So is that all you got?
Yeah, that was
okay.
it.
Great. Let's move on.
Just my fun little story.
No, that's fine. It makes me just ask the question, what the buck are we talking about? So I sorry.
Funny.
Thank you.
Did you say thanks to Bobby?
Yeah, I say thanks
Okay.
to. I always say thanks to Bobby.
Gotcha.
Bobby gave me an Oregon Ducks fan. If I miss it a couple times, it's fine. So here's the thing. Okay, so let's stick with the facts. Let's stick with what we know.
Okay.
Dan Bongino took a day off from work. That's all we know. He wasn't at work today. According to some people, he took a leave of absence. Okay, well, one day is not a leave of absence. And I know Dan Bongino fairly well from the show, but not personally. And I would say that if he was going to make some sort of statement, he probably would have left at 5 o'clock on a Friday where nobody would have known in order to save face. He doesn't want to hurt Trump. So listen, he just also had cancer. And this is less than a year. This was right before the Butler shooting. Butler's a year ago. So a year and 3 months, year and 5 months ago, he had cancer in his bicep, I believe. And we don't know, and God forbid that might be the case, but there could be a complication with that. For the love of God, his wife could have been in an ultrasound or some shit.
That was my first thought, was the cancer was back. But now that you say he just took a day off and no statement's been made, my next thought is it's summer, he has family, and he was only tapped less than 2 months ago. What happens if he had a vacation planned that was already booked?
Okay. Now we're just okay. Okay, let's not do no. This is Dan. He's the director of FBI. I'm going to go to Disney World. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that there is no official letter of resignation that we know about. Yeah, throat cancer, but he also had cancer in his bicep, I thought too. There's no official record. There's no resignation. There's no leave of absence that's official. But the rumor mill is going. Now, this first was brought by Axios. So Axios brought this. Now, this is twice now. And you've got to start asking the question. This is what plagued the Trump administration during his first administration, were these incessant leaks. And you got to remember, they just leaked the FBI memo and the Department of Justice memo out of the Attorney General's office that they were basically shutting down the Epstein case. So that was leaked. Nobody knows who did it. Axios got it. Now, Axios also got that Dan Bongino took a leave of absence, that he's pissed at Pam Bondi, and he's saying her go or I go or ergo. And now supposedly Kash Patel is in the same boat and saying, if Pam Bondi doesn't go, I'm going too. Now, I don't care that Axios is a shill of a shit newspaper. What I care about is, why do they keep getting these stories? Because Axios also had a spread about the B2s. Somebody in the White House administration is leaking information to Axios, and I think I know who it is. And I'm just going to...
Would you like to enlighten us?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to show you a picture. Now, what I'm doing is completely speculation. I don't know this. I don't know this at all. But what I do know is there's only a few people with this close of tie to the president who would be able to keep these things off of Trump's desk, and who's been accused of things like this in the past. From one person who I think we all like, and Ron DeSantis. You like Ron DeSantis?
Mm-hmm.
I like Ron DeSantis. I defended him when he ran. I said, good for him. We should have a primary. He's not the president. He's removed. He's out of office. Donald Trump isn't the heir apparent. Let as many people run as they want. But there's one person who has all that information. And Susan Wiles is the chief of staff of Donald J. Trump.
Why would she do it?
To keep the blowback off of Trump. Mad Max subscribed. Thank you. Well, let me ask you a question. Who has access to the president's schedule?
I would say a few people, but definitely the chief of staff.
Chief of staff and about 16 to 20 people have it. Yeah. Press secretary has it. Chief of staff, communications. But most people don't have the president's schedule. Secret Service has it. Secretaries have it. But most people don't. She has access to that. The chief of staff, everything comes to the chief of staff. Everything. If there is a reporter who has an itch on their ass, the chief of staff knows about it before the president. And the thing about that you hear from Donald Trump, you heard it yesterday in some of his interviews, is he's like, if it happens, I'll know about it. But when Pete Hegseth did the Ukrainian money, Donald Trump said he didn't really know about it. So that means Pete Hegseth did it with and holding the Ukraine money without permission, right? But later then Trump said he did know about it. And then this is where Susan Wild comes in, because her job is to ensure that the president is up to speed on the comings and goings of what happens in the West Wing, what happens in the Fourth Estate, and what's going on in Washington and in politics. Now, am I accusing her of leaking information? No. What I'm saying is that to have access on information and to reportedly continue to hit one newspaper in Axios, somebody close to the president has the ear. And Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi having a little bit of a fight is something that the chief of staff would know about, because they are a part of the administration. Mm-hmm. And a leaked memo of the Epstein case being closed, the chief of staff most assuredly would know about it because it's blowback on the president. And B2's leaving the center of America is something that the chief of staff would most assuredly know about. Because the leaks that are coming out, in my opinion, don't damage the president. They damage the credibility of other people. And that is what the biggest sign to me is that Wiles very well may be leaking this information. Now, this is speculative on my part. This is me looking at the data, but looking at the former leaks that took place, which were all against Trump, and you knew it was an insider because it was all the juicy stuff. Mm-hmm. As far as Burisma, as far as the Ukrainian blackmail phone call from, him throwing ketchup plate on the wall, all that stuff was specifically designed to hurt Trump. But these leaks are not designed to hurt Trump. They're specifically designed to hurt Pam Bondi. Or they have specifically hurt Pete Hegseth. We know that Pete Hegseth was struggling with what was the douche plow's name who got the staffer and who was on Fox all the time, who was the special forces guy. I don't remember.
The dude with only one leg?
No. This is the guy who they took and made him a diplomat. Oh crap! Come on, people. Who was he? What was his name?
What show was he on?
I don't expect you to know. He was on Fox, and he came in on time. He was a member of the intelligence. He wasn't DNI.
So he was just
wait. He wasn't NSA. He was. Just let me think. DNI is Tulsi Gabbard. Waltz, thank you. Yeah. What was Waltz's job? What did he do?
I don't even know.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
I'm talking to the people in the
audience.
audience.
I don't even know.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I know you don't know. That's right. Mike Waltz. Yeah. What did Mike do? Guys, help me out. I can't fucking remember. What did Mike Waltz do? I know what he did in the military. What did he do? What was his position currently? It wasn't DNI. It wasn't DHS. What did he do? This is going to piss me off. Now I'm going to sit here until I figure it out because it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't believe I never do this. Are you looking? You're not even looking this up.
No.
What good is having an assistant on the damn show and you don't look it up?
Because you said you were talking to the other people.
Defense investigator.
So I was just making my rounds real quick.
No, it was NSA, but it's not the NSA I'm thinking about. He was National Security Advisor. Okay, so he's National Security Advisor. So NSA, gone. But him and Pete Hegseth had a very serious conflict. They didn't like each other. At least that was the rumor. Former NSA, thank you. So now that we know that that's happened before, but a major leak took place between those two, and the leak ultimately, although people hit Hegseth, I don't think that was the intent. I think it was to hit Mike Waltz. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because of the signal leak, it was his staffer that did it, and he took responsibility. So it wasn't designed to hit Pete Hegseth, but that's who got hit because of the reporter. But ultimately, Mike Waltz took the fall. And so was the staffer. Okay, so there's one example of a conflict that happened inside the administration, and a leak took place that ultimately cost the job of one person. Now you're talking about Pam Bondi in the middle of a staff meeting releases a memo gets released that states that the Epstein case is closed. Then Donald Trump just literally like trounces a reporter and then looks at Bondi and goes, "Hey, do you want to answer? You want to talk about this?" Now, I know Donald Trump's mannerisms pretty well, and I don't understand why he did that. I've seen him do that to reporters. I've seen him do that to people he doesn't like, but not one of his people. The only people I've ever seen him to do it was the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. And he threw Jeff Sessions under the bus on his administration when he recused himself from the Russian collusion case, and he went off on Sessions. I've seen him go after the Fed, but he doesn't go after his own people very often. So he went after Pam Bondi by setting her up for that question, and she just flatlined. It was abysmal. Just the most rancid answer possible. So keep following me through this.
Okay.
Can you think of another person on the staff where information was leaked? And I'll tell you who the newspaper was. It was Axios. Again, someone else who was in the news in between Pete Hegseth, Waltz, and fast forward now to Bongino and Patel and Bondi. Somebody else who was laid to waste by Axios and the Trump administration by leaking something that didn't splash on Trump but hit one of his people. Can you guys think about it? Who was it? I'll give you a hint. The second most progressive voter in the state legislature outside of Kamala Harris's senator. Who was number two? Who was the most progressive that we've talked about on the show a million times? That's right. Living Patriots needs to come on this show and be a host. This fucking guy is on fire. Tulsi fucking Gabbard. Also an Axios release that she wasn't invited to the National Intelligence meeting. And she wasn't invited to the B-2 strike. Axios is the key on all of this. Now, let's go back into Wiles' history with DeSantis, when DeSantis said she wasn't trustworthy.
How does DeSantis know her?
Used to work as his, I don't know if she was a liaison or a chief of staff. Let's find out. Let's find out. So Susie Wiles, sorry, it's going to get really bright here. I apologize. She was Rick Scott campaign manager. She worked on Trump's campaign. We know this. And she led Ron DeSantis' campaign too. Now, let's find out exactly what DeSantis, because it's been a little bit of time. Oh, Liv, you couldn't have told me that.
What? I wasn't looking.
I lost my typing because it opened up. Now, bear with me here because I'm walking through this while we're talking. Wiles was accused of leaking internal memo suggestions donors could buy access to DeSantis.
Amy Bordeaux, thank you for the 1080. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy Bordeaux. Listen, folks. I'm writing this in my head as we go. This is the way I think. I'm walking you down the pathway here. I haven't prepared anything for this. I'm speculating and I'm making it very clear, but it's starting to make sense because this is how I write stories. This is how I come up with everything. Olivia will tell you, I'm doing this in real time.
Yes.
The allegations, key points. Wiles was accused of leaking internal memos suggesting donors could buy access to DeSantis, prompting a harsh response from his allies. Wiles, she acknowledged the excesses of that conflict, but says the feud is in the rearview mirror, and now she sees him as a good governor. So this isn't the first time she's been slapped with leaking.
Why would you leak when you're a part of
It
an
depends.
administration?
Well, it depends. What if Donald Trump's not happy with Tulsi Gabbard? So you burn her with MAGA. You get every single person talking about it, and they call for her head. Pam Bondi was, I liked Pam Bondi 90 days ago. And everybody's like, Pam Bondi this, Pam Bondi that.
So
Matt Gaetz would have been a better choice, but we're going to go with Pam Bondi. And we heard her and she was prepped, just like, don't you remember how Sarah Palin sounded so good in her first interview? And then she went and debated and we're like, oh my God.
I can see Russia from my
No,
house.
she debated well, but then when they started doing the other stuff, just leave her. Turn off that light, please. You can't lock her in here. Turn off the kitchen light and open the door, please. So Sarah Palin was an absolute disaster, but she had that ABC interview and it was just, oh God, yeah, Russia from my house. So my point is that just because it's a leak doesn't mean it's not controlled opposition. Doesn't mean that it's not on purpose. And the chief of staff does this all the time. I mean, you can look at non-chief of staff, but influential people as far as Kissinger, Stephanopoulos. You can look at who is the press secretary? Ari Fleischer. These people were very good at building relationships with the media. And when the administration wanted certain things leaked, they would leak it. So yes. I don't know if I can take the cat tonight. So like Cat's got to like calm down. She's been really crazy all night.
Yeah. She's
going to knock something over like your drink. And I'm going to flip the fuck out because the $20,000 studio gets sticky. So I don't know. I don't have the answers. But the rumors are that Bongino is going to bail and so is Kash Patel if Bondi isn't outed. Now, this makes its way through Twitter. This makes its way through Facebook. This makes its way. Okay, Liv, please.
Yep. Hayden.
Oh, come here, baby. Hayden!
We love the cat.
Say
She's just being
bye-bye.
annoying. She needs to go.
Stop bringing the cat inside the house. I don't want her in here. No more. Great. Okay. Maybe in about 30 minutes, but not right now. Okay. Appreciate it. She's been clawing and scratching and like she's going weird. So we just don't need the we don't need the cat.
A senior.
Not tonight. Not tonight. So anyway, that's my thoughts. We'll bring Yanni back in later in the show. I'm trying to put this all together. So the thing about this whole thing with Bongino is this is the outcome. What do you think the outcome would be? Like if Bongino resigns, what's the outcome? What are the possibilities of what's going to happen as far as Dan Bongino as a podcaster and a major influencer, and especially he's the guy that took over for Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, I would think that maybe he'd go back to his podcast. I don't know.
But would he have any credibility left?
That's a good point.
But let's ask the question, right? So he resigns, but he did play the dog and pony show then. If he resigns and quits and says, I'm leaving because of irreconcilable differences, what were those differences? I don't imagine Dan Bongino is going to come out and burn Trump. If he does that, that's the dumbest thing that Bongino would do.
What he
right.
Would.
So what do? Bongino leaves and he comes out and says, listen, what can he say to redeem himself? Because if he walks away, people are going to say, well, why did you lie to begin with? Why did you carry water? Why didn't you leave before touting the things that are deceitful? Okay. And he simply says, I did what I thought was best for the country. I don't know if that's going to be okay for MAGA.
Yeah.
Now, the second thing he can say is, well, there was no there. I didn't lie. It was true. But I was so upset and frustrated by the way this was handled, and that, you know, that the administration wasn't going to go forward with this, that I resigned. Okay, well, then you're saying that your daughter, Liv, can you please stand up and go have a conversation with Hayden? And I'm about ready to pause the show and lose my ever-loving mind. I'm going to crash. Thanks. Our daughter's being an ass. So she's interrupting the show. She's just being, Mom knows what I'm talking about. Mom's going to go take care of it. So my point is this, is that we don't know anything about it. But the question is what would be acceptable to you if Dan Bongino leaves, and would his credibility be okay? Because it's kind of, he's in a bad spot. Because if he says that there was something nefarious and wrong, well, then why did you toe the line and lie to us? And then if he says, well, I didn't lie to you, well, then why did you quit? So he's kind of in a pickle. The only good thing that can happen for Bongino is that if Bondi gets termed. Now, a lot of people are saying the attorney general can't be removed. That's complete, or she can't resign. That is complete bullshit. That Jeff Sessions did it. It's a complete lie. So you got to understand that this is a pretty heavy thing. And the problem is that the only thing that's been recent in this whole thing is the Epstein shit. So either Trump doesn't appreciate that memo was leaked, or Trump intentionally had that memo leaked to flip on Bondi. Because listen, I think Megyn Kelly says it best yet again. Here's Megyn Kelly on X, or on her channel, The Megyn Kelly Show. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. I'm hoping one day she'll have me on. That's right. Melanie says, I can see if he wants to leave, he could blame it on health, possibly. Here's Megyn Kelly. I want you to listen to this, because I've got some other things to show you that are going to make you go, what? I don't understand. Matt, tell me what the hell. Well, I'm going to do my best. I don't have all the answers. A lot of this is speculative. I just don't know. Did you take care of that, Mom?
Yes, I did.
Mom Bear?
Yes, I did.
What was her reasoning for being a complete knucklehead?
Kenny's being a snatch.
Well, you know what? This show is paying for everything that her little heart desires.
She said Yenny is being crazy right now, that she's being snatched.
It's a full moon.
And she's a senior too. That's, I was like, let her have her senior moment.
but to interject her on the show and do that is not a good idea, because Yenny's going to knock over a drink. You know that.
Yes.
And something's going to happen. And then, then I'm going to melt down. All right, here is Megyn Kelly. Good to have so many people on. We've got a shit ton of people on. It's great to see. Here's Megyn Kelly. I want you to listen to what she has to say, because there's a series of these videos, and we're going to walk down the primrose path here and see what we can see. Here it is. You look lovely tonight. Did I say that?
No, but thank you.
Oh, God, those photos last night, let me tell you.
For attention. I think she was enjoying the hits on Fox, on Hannity, on Waters, in the middle of the day with John Roberts, and saying, like, I've got all the answers on Epstein. I've got all the juicy dish, and I'll be the one to give it to you, until she either found out that wasn't true, and realized this is why attorneys general don't talk like this.
That's right.
Ever.
That's right.
About their ongoing investigations, ever. You almost never hear from attorney general. It's the one person in any administration, Republican or Democrat, who you really can't get. There's only so much transparency you're supposed to get from an attorney general, given the way criminal investigations work. And then realize, like, she had an oh shit moment of she's humiliated herself and the administration. Or again, I don't know, something else. Or it was real in the first place, and now she's doing the lying. This, I don't know the truth on.
I just want to give Megyn Kelly credit for wearing a side ponytail so effectively, and congratulate her on that epic.
Would you like me to wear a side ponytail on Monday, dear?
Yep. Kind of like them. But Megyn Kelly is absolutely right. Now, I want you to go back. A lot of people were watching the Dan Bongino video between him and Kash Patel when they went back and they said, hey, there's no there. We've seen the video. We've seen this. We've seen that. and everything is copacetic. He killed himself. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah. Go. I'm going to find the video.
About Susan Wiles. How in the world would she even go about leaking information and being able to cover her ass? I mean, does she have
No. You don't understand. You don't understand.
How does that work?
Honey. It's controlled oppo. It's her releasing it on the administration's orders.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So what she does, she gets a low-level staffer and says, give this to the frickin' Axios reporter. Then that's what they do. So you would use a burner phone, or you would use an email that is Proton Mail, or you would have a low-level staffer says, we are to remain anonymous. Here you go. Or you have lunch and you have over the creme de menthe, cleanser and the shrimp cocktail. You hand a piece of paper and say, you didn't get this from me. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter how they get it. It's the who and the why, right?
Got it. Okay.
So, but if you go back and you look at the Patel and Bongino video, what do you notice? And I want you to look at this, and I want you to look at it real good. And don't look at it from what's being said, but what isn't being said. Does that make sense, what I just said?
Yes.
Good. Here it is.
Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get...
Hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get...
It's the inflection in his voice.
He doesn't look good.
He has conviction in the first video. And I've seen a few of his videos when he is really passionate about something. He gets real hot about it. And his voice, gets a little bit louder and stuff. And he just kind of was very meek in the second one.
He doesn't look good. So I'm not assuming anything. I'm just saying, could this be a medical issue? Sure. Okay. There's a piece of it that would explain why he's uncomfortable. That can explain why he looks like he's lost weight. There's a lot of reasons for that, or it's just bad lighting. Trust me, man. I look good some days. I look bad. I'm not Olivia. I've got my off days, but it's something to think about because it's something to think about. Because 2023, that was after the cancer, but not too long ago after the cancer. He doesn't look good in the other one. Yeah, he looks defeated. He looks tired. He looks worn out. And that can be caused of a lot of things. He could be sick. He could be on treatment again. This is speculation, right? This is the one you haven't heard. But what I am trying to tell you, and I'm trying to get you guys to understand, is that yes, this could be about Epstein, but there's other things it could be. And this is why Dan Bongino always pushes out the 24 to 48 hour rule. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He says, wait. So this whole thing is going to play out in the next few days because now Dan is in the hot seat. It's been leaked. Axios once again is getting this information. So you know what I would start doing? I would look at the contributions to individual candidates that Axios has made. I would try to find out through the grapevine and through people who are reporters that who Wiles associates with, who's from Axios, who's got tapped in the White House press room to go back to the chief of staff's office. I would start asking questions. And if these reporters are any good at what they do, they're going to find out who the leaker is. But somebody is feeding Axios information because they have been involved in 4 major stories in the last 3 months. And that's not the way this works. Nobody's that fucking good, especially Axios. Yeah, I mean, Dan could be stressed out because his hands are tied, but that means he's conflicted. And if he's conflicted, well, then why leave? See, the difference between Dan is he's like most guys who are alpha. Quitting isn't an option. So that's why I'm asking people to hold. He's not a quitter. This guy was Secret Service. The guy went to the Senate. He got just browbeaten for that. Was a cop. Now he's in the FBI. He's pushed through adversity. But I would start asking questions. Yeah, Axios and Loomer do seem tied. I completely agree with you. Loomer has massive amounts of access. Remember, she went after several military staff and leaked it to Donald Trump and got a meeting. Well, you do that through the chief of staff. I'm telling you, there's multiple levels to this. And I may not be very good at all the conspiracy stuff, but I'm really good at smelling a lie like a fart in a car. And this doesn't feel like some Democrat or turncoat inside the administration. This feels like controlled opposition. It feels like literally they're leaking their own stuff to get things done. You also need to think about the Eli black eye. Why did Eli have a black eye? Look at the conflict that happened there. Seems to be a lot of people blowing up at the president, right?
Yeah.
So you got to put all these things, and you're getting a story, but not the story, right? That's what Dan says.
Yeah.
You're getting a story, but not the story. Danielle says, imagine watching the child abuse videos. They're all a mess right now. Give them a break. No, I will not. Sorry, Danielle. I will not give our elected officials and our assigned officials from the elected people a break. No, not when this case was been here since 2017. And you don't have to sit there and watch porn videos, because if you think that Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi are sitting and watching 10,000 hours of porn video, I will tell you that Pam Bondi has not spent enough time outside of Fox Studios to watch one video. That woman has been on Fox every single day. And Dan Bongino has literally been doing his job. And if you go to his Twitter profile and you go to his official FBI profile, there's drug busts going crazy. But I will not go light on these people. I will not. This is your job. You're a professional. She was a district attorney of Florida. They had sex trafficking in Florida. They had child porn rings in Florida. She's been through this. These things are for professionals. And if you cannot handle it, which I'm not saying I could, because I would throw up and it would ruin my life. That's why I don't do the job. But if you are the attorneys general of the United States of America, you don't get to have a bad day because things are tough. That's not the way it works. Not in our country. No way. I will not go light on anybody. But I will say that Pam Bondi has been an absolute mess since she took this over. Yes, Axios is a left-wing publication. It is.
So why would, if? Because
that's where the damage is going to be done, because you get the Democrats riled up over it. You do it to a right-wing newspaper, it gets crushed.
That's true.
Think a right-wing paper is going to write bad shit about Trump?
That's true.
You leak it to the oppo. That's why it's called opposition. It's controlled opposition. You leak a story to the left that you want out, that can do the most damage to your target. I mean, you watched West Wing. You've seen what they do. I mean, it's cutthroat, you know?
Yep.
And I don't. Yeah, Laura Loomer is going after and saying Bondi needs to go. Everyone's saying Bondi needs to go. And I'm not coming down on Bondi. I don't have all the facts. What I want is I want accountability for the things that we were promised in this election, which was to clean up the swamp. Mass deportations. We don't have mass deportations right now. Does this feel like mass deportations to you?
No.
At the end of 4 years, they're going to average 700,000 people. There's 21 million, that's what we've heard, illegal immigrants in this country. 740,000 isn't enough. What happened to mass deportations? Well, it's not here. Okay. What happened to finding 300,000 kids? What happened for the sex trafficking ring of the people like Epstein and the people in Hollywood and the people in government who we were told were doing these things? Carrie, that's what I said is Trump doesn't necessarily throw his own people under the bus like that. You remember with Pete Hegseth? He's like, well, Pete's doing a phenomenal job. Remember when it came to Tulsi Gabbard? Oh, she's very, very smart, blah, blah, blah. So when it came to Bondi, it's almost like he went after the reporter and then handed it off to Pam Bondi, but almost like a head fake that he wasn't throwing her to the wolves, knowing that he's been with her in meetings. He knows her answers. He knows how she talks. Listen, as an executive, I would throw people to the wolves. We would do annual store reviews and the managers would get up and they would sit with the assistant manager and they would talk. And I knew who I was going to blow up and who I wasn't. I looked at the people who were down in margin, who were in overtime hours, who weren't advancing people in the proper way, who had massive turnover and theft. And I was going to fucking crush those people in front of everybody on purpose to set an example. And then the people who did well, they would give, some people walk up there and they'd be up there for 2 hours. The stores that were doing well, they would walk up and they'd be like, here's my numbers, blah, 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 and just wait for me to go off on them. I'd be like, all right, have a seat. 2.5 minutes. And people would get the message. You want to have a good annual review? Do well. You want a bad annual review? It's going to hurt. The same thing happens with the president of the United States when people aren't performing. No, I didn't say they're all bad in Trump's admin. Who the hell said that? Rachel, who said that? Nobody said that. I didn't say that.
Let me make sure she's not replying to somebody else.
When she says, so you're saying.
But if she's talking to somebody else,
Thanks. I didn't say that at all. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Pam Bondi has not done the job that we would expect her to do. Are you happy with mass deportations? The answer is it takes time. Okay, how much time does it take? Joe Biden had more deportations up until this point, 3 times more. Does it take longer than that? I know you're talking to me, so answer me. Why do you think I said that everyone's bad in his staff? I didn't say Pete Hegseth is bad. Never said that. I didn't say Dan Bongino's bad. I didn't say Kash Patel was bad. I have questions about Wiles, which a lot of people did. I've got questions about Pam Bondi, and I have questions about Tulsi Gabbard. And these are people I've had questions for years, not just today. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat 2.5 years ago and the most progressive Democrat to serve in the last 20 years outside of Kamala Harris. She's not being invited to intelligence meetings. Have you seen her? Okay, so do we feel she's doing a good job? What job is she supposed to do? The intelligence apparatus is supposed to go off without a hitch. We're supposed to have no drama or no leaks or no issues. The intelligence services are supposed to do their job and give strong intel back to the president. That's her job. Is she doing her job? I don't know, but she's not being invited to meetings. She's getting thrown under the bus. Pete Hegseth got thrown under the bus, but look at what he's done. Everything that he's done, I'm happy with. But the problem is that if you're upset with one thing that somebody does in the administration, somehow you're against the entire administration, which is a ridiculous notion. Rachel says, I don't understand. I love Trump and all of his people. I don't love anyone outside my family and my wife. And I like Trump, but my loyalty is not to Trump. My loyalty is not to this party. My loyalty is to this country. I don't serve kings. He's not my king. He's not my God. He is a person who I absolutely vote for and defend fervently, but it doesn't mean that he walks on water, and he absolutely needs to be called out sometimes. Am I calling him out tonight? No, I'm defending him incessantly. And I'm saying that the Epstein files are not being released for a reason. Do I agree with that reason? No, because I think every single person who touched a child should be held to the utmost account. But that's not what's happening. That's a problem for me. Rubio has been absolutely fantastic. Yes. Rubio's been amazing. And to be honest with you, I've got no problem with Cash, and I've got no problem with Dan Bongino. I have a problem with if it's not true, what they're saying. If they are covering or they are burying this topic, and if Dan Bongino is truly leaving, I'm trying to tell people maybe he's not. But I do believe that there are reports being sent to Axios, and somebody is leaking information. Because 1 time, fine. 2 times, 3 times, no way. 4 times, absolutely not. And in the last 3 months, the 4 major breaking stories coming out of the White House, Axios has picked up. Somebody's leaking something. Rachel, call the show. 276-200-2105. I don't bite. Let's have a conversation about it. But no, I don't believe that the entire admin is bad. I believe that there are people inside the administration. Some of them have made costly, unforced errors, and including Donald Trump. And I think the Epstein is an unforced error. Let me show you why it's an unforced error. How about that? Maybe you'll understand this.
She did reply.
What'd she say?
She said, I am 80 and I do love my country. Sorry. Why do you think they are not releasing the file? I like your show.
There's a couple reasons. One of them is national security, because that's the reason we were given, right? That they could not release it because of national security reasons.
Yeah.
You could have other intelligence agencies that were involved in this. You could have other intelligence agencies during other administrations who were spying on the U.S. and they don't want that released, which would create hostility towards maybe Israel. But let me show you this. Now, this is from CNN, and I want you to take this for what it's worth. But it is an interesting thing, because this is what I'm hearing from MAGA. But no, not everyone in this administration is bad. And Rachel, I'm not mad at you. I just want you to make sure you understand is I'm not saying that. Listen to this.
What a massive unforced error by the Trump administration.
Okay, I have not seen this yet, but it's funny that he says unforced error and I just use the same language. All I saw was the thumbnail for this, which showed 12,000 or 1,200% increase in people that felt something about Epstein. So we're going to see it.
Donald Trump would love this.
What?
I said it's this Magoo.
Oh, yeah, he's a dork.
Story to go away. But in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for Epstein up 1,200% this week versus last. And get this, it is currently the top topic search with Trump on Google alongside his presidency. So Donald Trump normally, leans in stories in which there's controversy, like tariffs, for example. This is a story.
Okay, is Nita replying to me or somebody else? Because I'm going to respond. So somebody tell me, is she talking?
I will tell
or he
you.
Talking to me or she or whatever? I don't know.
Doesn't look like it's a reply.
I think that's Elvis, so it's got to be a her. Okay, so Nita says this. Here we go. This is ridiculous. You assume because the so-called list has not been released that somebody is a child molester? Hogwash. Liv, do I really have to answer this? Do I have to answer this?
No. No.
What are you talking about?
I'm so confused. I'm confused. I'm
Nita,
confused.
what? Jeffrey Epstein is a child molester. The guy had over 10,000 hours of child pornography in his personal safe on Epstein Island and his other New York apartment and other apartments. What are you talking about? I'm not assuming anything. Have you even watched the show? Every single thing that's supposition, I've said so. Everything that's fact, I've said so. I didn't assume the so-called list hasn't been released. In fact, I've never said there was a list. Why do people simplify about a list? I want the court documents released. I want the discovery released. I want the witness list released. I want the people who were accused released. I want the people who were accused fraudulently released. I want everything released. And then I want these people responsible who raped children to suffer the consequences. What are we talking about? Because a conversation is being had that isn't pro-Trump, like Trump didn't do, I've already said a million times, I don't believe Trump. He didn't go to the Epstein Island because there is no flight path to Epstein Island. You got to go through St. Croix or go through other major airports that are island based. You have to hit it by seaplane or boat. If you take a look at the FBI, when they raided it, they had to load up a boat, shitloads of boats to get all that stuff out of there. So this whole flight list to the island is crap. Donald Trump took six flights on Epstein's jets, and they originated from Palm Beach, Florida, to Newark, and a couple of other from California. Nothing on any of his properties that were considered to be the pleasure properties. Donald Trump in 2004 went ahead and called and turned state's evidence and volunteered to turn state's evidence. When the subpoenas came down, he was the only person to come out and fly to the office with no other lawyers present and was deposed. He banned him from his properties. Hell, he was arrested in 2017 under Donald Trump's administration. So, no, I don't believe Donald Trump is responsible. I don't believe Donald Trump's a pedo. I think it's a stupid comment from anyone who thinks that. What I have a problem with is that the Trump administration ran on releasing with full transparency about this. Dan Bongino told us for almost 6 years that he had personal information that Epstein was deeply involved with politicians and celebrities in Washington and big billionaires. We had Kash Patel that was demanding the list be released. You had Pam Bondi swearing she was going to release it. She said it was on her desk, the files. Released fake binders of information that had already been leaked in 2017. And now we're told that after 10,000 hours of pornography on his personal stuff and literally thousands of victims, that the people responsible for all of that rape and destruction of a child's life is Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison, a woman. I'm sorry. I'm not okay. Not okay with it. So no, I don't believe in an Epstein list. What I believe is in discovery and court documents and affidavits and depositions, and all of it should be released, redact the names of the innocent, and go after the corrupt. And either we do it as a federal government, or you let the posses back in with pitchforks and torches to take care of these people. That's what I believe. Come on, guys. You're better than this. You're better than this. You're smarter than this. We've worked together for 4.5 years, and I know all of you can take this off and go, let's take a look at this and let's find out the why. Donald Trump has his reasons, but Donald Trump never promised to release the Epstein list. He never said that. He said, we'll look into it. There may be some very big names on there. They can be damaging to a lot of people. We have a responsibility. He never said that. Bondi did. Bongino did. Patel did. And now Patel, Bondi, and Bongino have walked it back and said that there's no there. We're not done yet. You better stay. Because I'm going to show you stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. This is important. Do you remember when I said that there should be a special counsel? And I said that they should assign a special counsel and Matt Gaetz or somebody else, Judge Janine, whoever it is, someone really tough to go after. Isn't it amazing that on Benny's show, literally a day after I said it, you hear this?
Final question for you, Robert. Like what can you explain from a legal standpoint, like what would a special counsel do? How would it operate if it were truly independent, and if it were actually truth searching? What would you advise? You know, well, let's say you were on it. Like where would you look and what would you do?
So we know a good name for to be special counsel. I'm for, of course, Trump sacking Pam Bondi and putting in a recess appointment as Attorney General. But this person could also be an excellent special counsel, and that would be Matt Gaetz.
Son of a bitch! If you keep stealing my comments, people. Nobody said that. Nobody has been saying a special counsel. Nobody said it. Were you on with me?
Mm-hmm. That was Wednesday, I think you said it.
Nobody's called for a special counsel. It's just a little too convenient. But that's not all. There's more. Of course, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
There's always more. I'm going to show you something. Liv, read that. Can you, baby?
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm so freaking blind.
And by the way, Rachel, I'm not yelling at you. You guys, if it's your first time watching the show, I talk through the audience and I get passionate and I'm excited. I'm not mad at anybody. I am an intense human being. You can ask my wife, okay? I'm an intense human being, and I love your questions and I love your challenges, okay? Nothing wrong with it. Keep challenging me. Keep pushing me. Get my thinking cap on, but you got to put yours on. Nita, I'm not saying that you think I'm saying something that I'm not. I'm just telling you. Just telling you, I'm not blaming anyone. We're asking some serious questions because the content that we're hearing is not the answer. This right here, if you look at the modification date, shows the 25th of May, 25, the 23rd of May at 2016. And the creator tool is Adobe Media Encoder 2024 for Windows. Now, this is something I know about. I encode 5 or 6 hours of video a day. And this is through Adobe Premiere. Says the video frame rate is 30 frames a second. The video is progressive, which means it's a P at the end versus an I, which is interlaced. The video pixel aspect ratio is 1:1, which means that it wasn't changed from its original size. And it's a horizontal orientation, which is a 16:9. What is this? Well, let's go through some more. This is the XMP data. And this shows that it was full RAW, XMP's full RAW format, which means that it's directly from source. It hasn't been changed or it hasn't been tampered with. This is a RAW file. Now, for instance, when I recorded my video today, it was almost like 7 or 8 gigabytes. Once I imported it into Premiere and brought it down, it was about 236. But you take a look here, it goes into an H.264 format, which is an MP4 format. We go to the next page, and I'm going to explain what all this means. You're seeing a history saved, which means that the original XMP was brought into a file and saved on autosave, because anytime you import a massive amount of data into Premiere, it saves. Then it was created, which means that it was into an edit, and you send it to Adobe Media Encoder to transcode and compress the video and save it. Then you have a save, and a save, which means 3 copies were saved in different parameters with different names. The history will show you the date and time that's in pink. And then the software below, like I told you, is Adobe Media Encoder, which is for Premiere more than likely. Last but not least, the file names that were released shows CUsers/MJ:1 is the person who edited it. Which is interesting because this is a Windows computer, but you also have a Mac application code. Tells you the media data size, that it was 209 gigabytes. Shows you the image size, that it was 1920 by 1080p, which is 1080p resolution, 1920 by 1080, 1920 width and 1080 up and down. The megapixels were 2.1, and then the average bit rate was 4.28. The reason why you change the bit rate is normal bit rate on 1080p is 20 megabytes a second. Taking it down to a 4.8 brings it down to a resolution of below 720p. They're like, holy shit, I didn't know Matt knew so much. This is the metadata that wasn't wiped from the Epstein jail video. Somebody edited it and saved it and changed the resolution and cut things out. If this was a court of law, what do you think the defense attorneys would say if this was used? What do you think the judge would say, Liv?
Well, the defense attorney would want it to be inadmissible and not be able to be used.
Right. Why?
Because it completely screws their case.
Right.
It shows that what they're seeing is fake and that
or that it's been doctored or altered.
It's been doctored, that they need the original.
They want the raw format. They want the original file, which is untouched and unedited, right?
Yep.
This was created on May 23rd at 4:48. The XMP original ID file is on import, which is the raw file. And then it was exported at 11:23. They literally had this thing for about 6 hours. That's a lot of time to transcode a file. On this computer, I could transcode the same file in about 37 seconds. You got to figure the computer has a little more oomph than mine. I don't know. I've got a badass computer. Here's what Steve Bannon is saying about it. Real America Voice was on today. They also talked about it at TPUSA. But watch this. Liv, I'm sorry. We're going to get into the regular show, and there'll be a lot of things to comment on, I know, but this is pretty heavy, honey. Thank you.
It's not about just a pedophile ring and all that. This is about who governs us, right? And that's why it's not going to go away. For this to go away, can we blow the brake, by the way? Can we blow the brake, guys? For this to go away, you're going to lose 10% of the MAGA movement. If we lose 10% of the MAGA movement right now, we're going to lose 40 seats in 26. We're going to lose the president. They don't even have to steal it, which they're going to try to do in 28. Because they're going to sit there and they've disheartened the hardest core populist nationalists that's always been who governs us.
All right. So, Liv, do you want to touch on this, that Donald Trump is going to lose his base over this?
No,
okay.
I don't think he's going to. He might lose a few people here and there, but no, I don't think he's going to lose his base.
Not a chance.
Because yet again, this was not a hardcore campaign promise.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. It came up a few times.
He said he wanted to drain the swamp, but when they say drain the swamp, my brain doesn't go to Epstein Island. My brain goes to all the other crap that goes on in politics, all the dirty politicians have been bought. But like I said, I could give a crap about Epstein. Yes, I want the people who are responsible for the atrocities that happened on the island. I want them found guilty and they need to be held responsible for it. But his main campaign promise was the deportations.
That's
and
right.
to close our border, make it safe again, make our country safe again. And that right there is first and foremost on my list of campaign promises that he needs to keep.
So does 508 Jay Fisher just hate me or something? Is this why they're spamming the Rumble channel?
No, he talks a lot.
Okay.
He or she talks a lot.
Okay.
There's just not a lot of people
He said
on.
he would release the files. No, he didn't. Show me. Show me. He said he would have to look at it. They were talking about the JFK files. They were talking about the January 6 files. He said yes, and he said yes. In the RFK files, he said yes, yes, and yes. But when it came to Epstein, he stopped. And he goes, I think so. And he's, well, but I'm going to have to look at it. There'll be a lot of names on there. People aren't going to like it, and he was hesitant. He never promised. If you can find that video, let me know. So it's very clear and it's important that we give factual information. Donald Trump was always hesitant on that. He absolutely said 100% that Epstein was a crook, that he was a scumbag, weird guy, all that type of stuff. And said that needs to be held accountable and where are all the children and all those type of things. Show me the proof. Don't just tell me, show me. Or call into the show. No, that's not what he said. I'm going to pull up the clip. It's why I have to do this. Come on, database, do your job.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
There you go.
Would you declassify?
So it's a pretty nonchalant answer. It's a less so. Yes, but less so. You don't want to affect people's lives if there's phony stuff in there. So it's a non-committal. JFK, yes. January 6th, before that, he said yes. Epstein files, he wasn't as committed as he was in the others. So to say that he made a campaign promise, it's not accurate. So it's okay to paraphrase, but you better be very specific. Now, in a rally, am I saying that maybe he didn't say it off the cuff? I'm talking about a policy. You go to Trump and you take a look at Agenda 47 and you show me release the Epstein files. Send it to me. Show it to me. No. See, this is you're doing what the left does, Fisher. You're taking something tiny and you're paraphrasing, and you're just as bad as the people that did, good people on both sides. You didn't take the full context of the conversation. And what you're doing is you're just checking it off. Oh, I heard words, so therefore that's it. That is such a leftist tactic. I'm shocked that you're doing that.
Hey, JD, thank you very much for the donation. Happy Red Friday, Matt and Olivia. Thanks for always bringing the receipts.
Thanks,
Thank you
JD.
very much. Appreciate it.
So I just showed you a video. Yes, less so. Yes, less so. You don't want to affect people's lives if there is phony stuff in there. So how you take yes out of that is ridiculous. No, he did not say he would release them. He said yes, less so, which means limited or not a full release, a controlled release, because you don't want to release information that isn't true. That's what he said. So how do you know that there's not? Now, you understand that there's false accusations in the Epstein files, right? You understand that in the court case, if you actually look at the court case, that there were several accusations against Epstein that were 100% fictitious and false. That there were people that they claimed, including, I'm not even going to say, but Alan Dershowitz is one of them. There were claims, I'm not even going to name those people because I don't even want that. I don't want my name associated with that. But there were plenty of celebrities who were accused of being there who had absolutely nothing to do with Epstein. So you have to understand what Trump is saying is yes, but less so. Sandra Edwards donating $25. You're on a roll, Matt. Loving it. Love you too, Sandra. And Liv, I'm sorry. I love you. And I feel horrible that we're not too involved tonight, but I'm going off. So he says, yes, less so. Like full release on our JFK, full release on J6. But when it comes to Epstein, you don't want to affect people's lives if there is phony stuff in there. And then if you listen to the rest of it, he says, I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look at it. So I want you to be really clear. That's not what he said. So I've read all your things that you've said, and there's a lot of them that aren't true. And I want us to be careful with that because that Rumble chat's important to me, and I don't get to monitor it as much. But let's make sure we're being accurate and representing the president of the United States in the right way. Now, I've held Trump responsible for a lot of stuff in my life, but being 100% Epstein, I'm releasing all of it, we're going after, no. Because if you want to look at his record with child sex trafficking, there is not even a president. You can combine all of them. Nobody has done what Trump's done. And it's just what they say about him with the Jews, is that he's anti-Semitic. Yet you look at the capital of Israel, you look at Jerusalem, you look at the embassy move. 5 other presidents before Trump had promised in their campaign promises and didn't do it. Trump did. Passed anti-Semitism laws in Florida and expanded the rights of Jewish citizens, even though they didn't vote for him. had conversations back with Netanyahu, and after 4 years of silence with Obama, invited Netanyahu back to the White House. He did the Abraham Accords. For the love of God, Kushner and the whole family, he's got Jewish blood in his family now. But once again, because people say these things, he's a Nazi, he's anti-Semitic, that all of a sudden it sticks. But when you actually peel back the layers, it's all bullshit. And the fact that people are saying that Donald Trump ran specifically on exposing the Epstein files is not accurate. He did not. And he was the only one out of his admin who showed some hesitation on that. And that is why the left says, oh, well, he's on the list because he doesn't want to release it. Versus Trump isn't stupid. He's got trillions of dollars of investment coming into America. And if he exposes every single person on that list, it could absolutely put the United States in an absolute spiral. It could put the globe in a spiral. Should it happen? Listen, I understand. In a perfect world, these people should be in jail and buried under the jail. But there also are consequences to actions. Now, am I going trust the plan? No, because I think that's stupid and that's a cue or nonsense. But am I saying that timing is important in this? Yes. I think this is what happened. I think Pam Bondi came out, is blonde and pretty and good looking, and got on camera and finally got the recognition she deserved. That she wasn't a stooge or a bimbo. And that's what they called her in Florida when she was AG. And they disrespected her and disparaged her, and the media crushed her. They did the same thing to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They did the same thing to Kayleigh McEnany. And they destroyed Republican women, and they hit Pam Bondi. And then she gets AG, and she comes in, and she's like, I'm going to go on Fox, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to get the spotlight. And she got starstruck, and she opened her mouth way too quickly without looking at the evidence, and made promises and tried to cash, you're writing checks your body can't cash. That's what she did. And it's biting her in the ass. And Trump has looked at it. Bongino's looked at it. Patel's looked at it. She's looked at it. Deputy AG's looked at it. And they're saying, yes, there are things here. There are people here who at the state and local and even federal level need to be prosecuted. But this is not the responsibility of the Trump administration to go after this. There's nothing else to release. We're not doing an open release on these files, and that's it. And that's the decision. If that's truly what's happened, Thomas Austin donated $51.99, save the veterans. Amen. Thank you, Thomas. If that's what's happening, I put him in place. I put him in office, and I trust him. If Donald Trump thinks that this should not be released for many other reasons, including peace in the Middle East, including stabilizing the economy, having people reinvest versus going into Africa or going into Russia or North Korea or China and investing in those countries versus us. Damn it. National security should always be first and foremost over personal vendettas, which deserve to be, reciprocity deserves to be dished out. But there is a time and a place for it. That is my thought process. I know he knows how important this is. And Fisher, I have been just as hard on him when it comes to this, that this stuff needs to be released. But we've got to trust the man because we put him in place. We got him here. And I trust Bongino. And I don't necessarily like Kash Patel, but I trust him enough because he's a fellow intelligence professional and he is qualified. I don't know if I trust Pam Bondi. I didn't like her 6 months ago, but then I kind of fell in love with her. She was a fighter and she was tough, and I love that about her. And we saw such an impotent AG in Garland that I became enamored with her, and I was a little smitten with her. She's pretty, but so far I'm not impressed with what she's done. And that's it. Good talk. Next time, call in. You've been a viewer for a long time. Call in. Let's have a conversation. I appreciate you. It's, and thanks for talking about it. I'm not trying to be a dick to you, but when I see 17 comments in Rumble, I'm going to get involved. All right.
Before we move on,
yeah,
we need to wish Dodie Estes a happy birthday.
Dodie, happy birthday.
Yes.
Do you know it's Shane Gilmore's birthday, but Shane hasn't been around in a while. So Shane Gilmore, happy birthday. And trying to think if there was another birthday. I think Amy Stancombe said it was an anniversary of when her husband and her met, I believe. And I'm trying to think if I missed anybody else. Folks, the best thing I can tell you is that if you want to understand how to figure this shit out, you have got to stop being loyal to anyone but yourself. The person who you owe answers to and loyalty to is you. Because in this world, nobody is going to look out for you but yourself. You've got to start asking. Now, does Donald Trump deserve our loyalty? Sure. Does he deserve our fealty? No. I don't bow to any man. So we've got to ask questions. All right? You got to ask questions. But more importantly, you don't just ask questions when you know the answer. You ask questions where you don't know the answer. But this is very interesting to me because here is another perspective.
Where are you?
Here is Bill O'Reilly, the dinosaur himself. Love your books, Bill. I don't like your takes. But I do love your books. Killing Reagan and Killing Lincoln are amazing. But here's his take, and he is blaming Trump. This is what a lot of people are doing. And this is the neoconservative Bill Riley, the Bush lover, who is coming out with his take.
You on Pam Bondi resigning?
No, I'm not going to condemn Pam Bondi because she takes orders from the White House. She doesn't make unilateral decisions. She does what she's told to do. That's the way President Trump runs the administration. None of the cabinet heads make independent decisions. They all come out of the West Wing and the White House, all of them. So, you could sacrifice her,
right?
But it is a bad look for Donald Trump. You can't justify not being more upfront about a case that's captured the attention of millions of Americans.
Where are you on?
So you can expect as much from Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly is not a Trump guy. He's never been a Trump guy. Thank you. He was a Trump guy in 2016 and 17 when he had to be, but most often he was not a Trump guy. But to say that Donald Trump runs the DOJ, that is a complete lie. The Attorney General is the end-all be-all for the Department of Justice. And the Attorney General doesn't answer to Donald Trump. That's not the way this works. Just like the DOD Chief of Staff don't necessarily answer. Charity Lamb, $15.95, glad to be here. Thank you so much. The Chief of Staff have to do what the President of the United States says. The Attorney General does not. All right. I think I've covered everything. Hold on. Okay. I've got some, we can move on now, sweetie. Oh, can I play the PPD podcast? And
just joking.
Don't be an ass.
I gotta
Come on, be nice to me. Sometimes, listen, this is a big topic, and I'm sorry. I probably should have just told you to wave off tonight, but we've got good stuff coming now. This is the Paul Bet David podcast. I don't like this guy at all. I don't even know his name, because if I don't know your name, it means I don't like you. Yeah. Oh no, Deirdre, you and I agree. Like, I believe that the memo was a complete bullshit thing to do. And I'm not saying this was handled properly. Oh, it was handled like shit. Like, you could have kid gloved this and done it right. You could have had a press conference. You could have released the video. You could have asked questions. Donald Trump could have come out there and asked questions with Pam Bondi sitting there with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and did and then we go, well, Matt, world peace and Iran and Texas. You had the entire cabinet there. The day before Pam Bondi gets this leak, of course it's going to come up. And for Donald Trump to be like, oh, you know what? Why are you asking this? Because your fucking department leaked it. If that reporter doesn't ask that question, you know what I'm saying? What a piece of shit reporter who didn't ask that. I want to know. So, that's Donald Trump being deflective. But Trump knows how important this is to his people, and him just trying to just wash over it isn't going to work. But this stuff right here, here's another opinion. I mean, I'm giving you a bunch of conservative shows, and they've all got different takes. Listen to this. And by the way, Fisher said somebody had the you just named somebody. I have no idea who they are.
Who?
Oh, about the special counsel thing.
Oh.
That somebody said that is not mainstream. So yes, some other irrelevant podcast like me may have said it, but guess what? Mainstream media isn't talking about special counsel for this. I did. And the reason why is you have to take out the influence of Washington, D.C. And the only way you do that is with the special counsel. Here, his name is Adam on PBD, whatever. He's an asshole.
Not like, I got to get the flight logs, bro. I got to know. And I'm not saying that's how you operate, but I think there's a lot of losers and brokies that are obsessed with stuff like this. These are the same people that instead of going home and working out and building a business and doing things with their life, they're Netflix and chilling, or they're just doom scrolling all day.
I work out. I do something with my life. I have a lot of sex with my wife, and I don't watch Netflix because we don't have a Netflix account. Does that pretty much sum it up, Liv?
Except for the Netflix. We do have Netflix. Right
Oh, you gave it to Hayden, didn't you, for Stranger Things?
You gave it to Hayden.
I don't think that's true.
Yes.
Whatever, lies.
You gave permission and said we would pay for it for the first month, and then she has to pay
Oh,
for
yeah,
it.
but for the first, but that's not me paying for it. It's her paying
And
for
there's
it.
so
No,
many people
first
I
month
think
we paid for it.
Whatever.
Second month she's got to.
All right.
obsessed with things that they have no.
Read Thomas Austin's comment. Here's our government explanation for the missing 60 seconds. I already read this. We covered this on the show. That's bullshit. That happens on old VCR recorders. That doesn't happen on DVR. And even old VCR recorders, I mean, if he's talking about 1970 push and play recorders, maybe. But I'll tell you what, I was running video recorders at Game Crazy, Circuit City, Best Buy. This is 91, 92. Well, actually, yeah. And then after that, when I got out of the military in 99, and we were running non-DVR VCR recorders, you have redundancies. You have multiple recording stations. So when one goes down and you rewind the tape, the other one goes. It's bullshit. I've heard it, Thomas. Thank you for telling me, buddy. I don't believe it as far as I can throw it. All right, here we go.
Adam, I get it, but I get where you're coming from. But Adam, that guy that's drinking Mountain Dew in his trailer and sitting there, who's an American patriot that pays his taxes and has kids and a family, Adam, he wants to know if the government that he's living under is controlled by foreign countries because they have tapes of them raping fucking underage kids. Adam, it's not a shiny little thing. No, Adam,
I don't think
it's
that,
not
like,
a shiny little thing in the
everything
air.
you were
Not
right.
stupid.
Everything you were right. Everything you
They're
said
not
is accurate,
stupid.
other than the word controlled.
They are controlled.
The intelligence community. And
Adam,
I don't know
it's
anything about
controlled,
this.
Adam.
They communicate.
Hear the CIA guy from yesterday, Adam. Think about this, Adam. If you are comfortable,
Katie, you can let her in now.
Mossad, which is Israel or Russia or anybody, their blackmail ring, their
off the
operation.
light.
Think about this, Adam.
Leave it open.
Would you be comfortable as a country going, you know what? Epstein's our guy. We own him. Lex Wester, all this money, he's a billionaire. Let's wire everything. Bring everybody there to have sex with underage kids because it's an island and whatever. And we're going to use that to get what we want. CIA, Mossad, anybody. How disgusting and evil. If you really think about that, step back from who it is. I don't give a shit who it is, Adam. If that is your operation, holy shit, you are one of the most evil, disgusting unit operation, period. And for those little people, Adam, the ones that you think are stupid that are sitting there, they don't just want the flight logs. They want everybody that's involved to fucking go down, period. Accountability. It's simple.
To me, it's just a whole lot of noise, and there's not a lot of signal. It's
Man, you know what? I am never going to use it's a whole lot of noise, not a lot of signal ever again because he just used it. And I've been using that for a while, so I'm not going to say that ever again. Remind me, Liv, never to say it again.
all right, yeah. Can we stay focused on the fact that the Wuhan lab that was in Wuhan when there was a lab leak and basically
I
took
get
over
what
the
you're
world?
saying. Let me tell you
like
what-
that is way more important.
I posted
than
something on
Epstein.
you caused
Which
it.
topic is most important to you?
To our audience, Epstein's and Mossad CIA ties is number one.
Wow, more than COVID.
You know what? Why can't we do both? You know, if everything's a distraction, then nothing is. But I keep hearing that, oh, it's a distraction. What are you, 2? You can't walk and chew gum at the same time? Why is it possible that something the size of the federal government with millions of employees can't focus on 2 things at once?
You would think.
I am more than capable of focusing on Epstein and COVID at the same time. Thank you very much. You know how many things we juggle every single night on this show? If we can do it with 2 people in this room, I think that the United States government with millions of employees can do it too. Right, Yenny? Sorry, Yenny, I didn't mean to exclude you. Folks, we'll be right back with a break. We're going to shift gears. 2045. We knew it was going to be a late night. It's a Friday. We are short on goal. 184.02. I think it's one of our best shows in a while. And yes, Olivia needs to get involved here, and she will. But we knew that this was breaking news. We knew it was going to create some controversy. And I love that you stayed here. Our numbers are bigger than what they were. You didn't leave. You're like, okay, this guy's asking some stuff. Maybe it doesn't make me feel really good, but I'm going to go ahead and make my point, and I'm going to listen to him and go from there. That's what we do here. We don't always need to agree. Right back after this break. Listen to this commercial. It's funny. It's a pee break as well. And then see if you can donate. TheDumbShow.com/donate. We take Apple Pay. We take Venmo, PayPal, your credit card, debit card. Everything's 100% secure. 512 megabytes of secured encryption. And it is handled by Merchant Center ID. And it is 100% insured. And you will be protected. We don't screw around. My store is rated as one of the top 2% in the entire internet. Go look. We have 5-star reviews up the yin yang. We are one of the highest rated stores on the internet. We've done 5,000 transactions, and for a show that has a couple hundred on live, that's not too freaking bad. Go get yourself a shirt, the one Olivia's wearing, get a hat, get some coffee, get some jackets, whatever. Whatever you need, it's there. And we have a great store. Go take a look. Also, go to thedumbshow.com/donate and help the show stay free because that's what we do. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at...
Yeah, I know they had closed loop cams in the 1990s, but not Hollywood Video in Circuit City that were going bankrupt. It was Kyle Surf. I don't know who that is.
TheDumbShow.com/donate.
Mel, you can't send steak. You got to send money, not steak. You've been talked to about this. Don't make me get on you, Canada. You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it.
Carol Myers, welcome back, Carol Myers. I haven't seen you in a long time. Thanks for watching. Good to have you here. A lot of people have been saying they've been seeing the feed. They're like, I haven't seen it in a year or two. God, it's good. Some guy came on today and he's like, hey, he's like, I love the Don't Unfriend Me show. I haven't seen it in forever. Where's the original host? What the fuck? What do you mean
Where's the original host?
Dude, he's probably thinking my COVID weight. Because, man, I was like, I put on some pounds eating all that frozen yogurt during COVID. I'm like, it's me, bro.
That's funny.
Whatever. Here's the rest.
She said.
That's what she's. Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pounded. Pounded. Pounded.
Child gets 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
During the segment last night, you mentioned vacationing in Door County.
There's no but there.
So I figured I may as well.
Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old? Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
He's better than
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm going to owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
I have no idea why that timer keeps dropping to zero. It's set for 2:40. Yes, Sandy Season came up with the idea She is the reason we have a pee break during the show. Most people don't have that either. I'm sure there's some podcaster, and Fisher's going to tell me, well, Bob Singas has a pee break, Matt. You're not the only person. It's okay, Fisher. I love you. I'm just teasing you. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but I figure you can take it. He was the FBI agent who was dragged through the hell after the whistle blowed on Biden. Oh, yeah. Keith Baker donated $40. You two are crushing it yet again. Thanks, Keith. We love you. Yeah, I've got some questions I would like to talk to. See, I'm all about, now, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. We've got a busy show tonight, and I want Olivia to have some fun, too. And she heard, Liv, why don't you set this up? Because I was laying in bed after having sex with you this morning. And
very, very graphic and detailed there,
no,
dear.
it wasn't. I just said we had sex. We did. It was great.
Great way to start the morning.
You woke up. Usually you don't.
did.
Usually you just snore. And I'm like, I roll over and I'm like, nuzzle. And you're like, and I'm like, fuck. And roll over and I stare up at the ceiling for an hour and a half and I try to convince you. I'm like, I'll go get you chocolate. Tamar Bush donated $10. Happy Friday. Thank you. Happy Red Friday, Tamar. Livy, go ahead and tell them what happened this morning besides us having sex.
Well,
Which will be taking place again after the show. Utah. Give me 2. Actually, 3. 4.
Not in the studio, by the way. Just so
Oh,
you
no,
know.
we don't have sex. We haven't had sex here yet.
No, we need to christen it.
Thinking, what do you just want to go right here, sailor on the floor? No, I was thinking this counter. You are confident, aren't you? You lost that love and feeling.
Thank you, Tom Cruise. Appreciate it. Love it.
Crash and burn, Mav.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right. So I was getting ready for work and I just heard you always like just go through Facebook or Instagram or whatever and you watch videos and sometimes I'm like, they kind of pique my interest. Well, I heard this and I start cracking up. So I'm like, I'm going to take a break real quick and go see what this is. And I'm watching. I'm like, man, it's a lot like you, what you say and what you do. And it was pretty funny. So I was like, we have to show this tonight.
So Cheryl and Jana go TMI. Meh, I don't know. Is it
from what we normally talk about?
I think it's important for two people who are on a show together to love each other and to be honest. And he's right. We got to switch the camera so we can look at each other. It's weird. So, well, here now. Hi. Okay.
Hi,
so,
dear.
hi. So, oh, my tooth. I got to get that thing. I got to get that fake tooth thing going on. So, hi. I got to get that. I got to get that thing filled.
Thank you, dog. Appreciate it. I needed a shower. Dog's here.
Oh, I thought somebody said something to you. I'm like, who said what about a shower to my wife?
No, the dog's licking my leg.
I get it.
She's
You know what? I kind of get it. Hi, Ash. Oh my God, you're running towards me.
She's
Hi.
excited.
Holy shit.
She
Hi,
like
sweetie.
pounced. That was pretty
sweetie.
funny.
All right. Fisher says, I'm a guy and I have broad shoulders. Deborah says, I'll save you, Fisher. Matt never reads Rumble when I'm here. Well, Deborah's here. You can close the window. So
what?
Deborah's here. You can close the Rumble window now. I'm good. CJ Jenkins donating 2110. Happy Friday. Thank you, CJ. All right. So the video I was watching was surprisingly, I do watch everybody. I told you I watch Bill Maher. I watch the Young Turks. It's actually Nick Fuentes. And I watch every day. I watch a Nick Fuentes video. And some days I really don't like him. And other times I get him and I think he's fucking hilarious. Listen, there's two different types of Nick. There's the Nick that you hear that he sells to his audience. And then there's the Nick who actually has a lot of charisma and is pretty funny. Now, this isn't racial here because one of his fans is named N-word and it's pretty offensive. And this person gives Nick money and invites him to his house or cabin. And this is the Nick that I do enjoy because Olivia's right. This very much reminds me of me. And maybe that's why the Groypers leave me alone is although I don't hate black people and Jews is I do have a sense of humor and can make jokes that are inappropriate sometimes. And I certainly don't agree with his comments, but this is somewhat funny. And this is it. And yes, we're going to talk about Candace Owens too and make fun of her. Here it is.
Nobody needs that.
Slutty retard gorilla Nicker sent $10. Good evening, Nick. Long-time replay viewer. Second-time chatter. During the segment last night, you mentioned vacationing in Door County, so I figured I may as well throw the invitation out there. $1.
What's the thought? You think I'm going to hang out with you? Well, I don't even know you. Why would I hang out with you? What is wrong? I honestly, is everyone that watches the show like this, or is it it's obviously self-selected for who sends the money. But it's like, in what universe do you think I'm going to say, yeah, all right, I think I will? Like, I have no idea who you are. You're watching the show. You are an anonymous username called Slutty Retard Gorilla Nigger. And you think I'm going to say, yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll stay at your and I'm going to sleep there and bathe there.
Real quick. Okay, guys and girls, the dummies. I can't believe I still have to explain this. It's totally.
No, it's Rachel. She
I
said
know.
a guy named Tommy just called me a dummy because I said I like your show. He is a dummy. Rachel, it's don't unfriend me, DUM. And that's where dumb came from, the dumb nation. And it was the viewers that started this way back when, like 4 years ago. And they call themselves the dummies.
And that's why it's called
And
the dumb
that's
show.
where it's the dumb show. And when you like our show, you are officially a dummy.
A dummy, but not because that's when we were being called deplorables and Nazis and racists. I'm like, well, we can handle dummies. Barstool Sports is pretty big with David Portnoy, and they call their people stoolies, and they're not stool pigeons or inanimate objects with 3 legs or 4 legs for that matter. So they call them stoolies. Well, we're the dummies, and that's the way it works. So
And Taylor Swift fans are called Swifties.
right, and Jim Rome fans are called Romies. So it's just we're the dummies. And
it has nothing to do with being mean or bullying.
And I
It's
love
just
when
an
people come in and
acronym.
goes, you really are the dumb show. I'm like, oh yeah, right. With your monosyllabic vocabulary. Thank you very much. This show is nothing if not maybe frustrating, but not dumb. Here's the rest. And I apologize for the language of this guy. And Nick Fuentes isn't trying to use racial slurs. It's the name of the person who sent him money. Here's the rest.
And live there. Like, do you think I'm going to do that? How likely it is, and why would I do that? Like, what's the thought process there? Oh, you mentioned this place. Well, I live there. Stay in my house. Like, I would just never even think. I would never, like, do you think I'm going to text Joe Rogan on Instagram? Hey, Joe, if you're ever in Chicago, come stay at my house.
Now, this is where it's me, because in the middle of his rant trashing him, he decides to go ahead and be a human being in the middle of it. And whether he's bipolar or not is immaterial.
You know, if we knew each other, or is there any kind of relationship, if you were like a billionaire and you owned like a hotel or something, like maybe that would make sense, I guess. I just see stuff like this and it's actually hurting me. It hurts. It actually hurts my psyche to read this every day because I just blue screen when I read that. I'm just like, what? How does a person think this? But let's go through your 4-part invitation. Let's work through the 4-part invitation. Your 4-part message. And let's try and figure out what's going on here. Let's
Slutty
figure
Retard
this one
Gorilla
out.
Nicker sent $10. My family's had a small cabin/cottage on the lakefront for a little over a decade, and about 2 years ago my mom began renting it out to trusted coworkers/close friends, basically people we know aren't the rebel. Slutty Retard Gorilla Nicker sent $10. If you were seriously considering the area and would have any interest in staying at our cottage for a weekend/week, I'd be more than happy to pitch the idea to her. Just let me know how I should, potentially, get in contact with further details/personal info. Slutty Retard Gorilla Nicker sent $20. Best regards and looking forward to your response, or roast, tomorrow. Also, you and Devin Stack seem very amicable towards one another. Are you a fan? Have you considered having a discussion around the ethos behind your upcoming documentary? It could be really interesting given his background in film. Thanks.
Well, look, I appreciate the super chat. You seem like a nice guy, but this is just a little reality check. And look, it's a nice offer. It's hospitable. It's hospitality. I take it. Listen, I shouldn't crash out on you. I'm going to take it in the spirit in which it was given. No harm was intended. You're being gracious. You're being generous. You're saying, I have a cottage. You know, I should really be more like Jesus and say, you know what? I will take a vow of poverty. I will stay with you. I'll rely on the kindness of strangers. I should take it in, you know, maybe there's a learning moment. Maybe I should have just been nice and said, wow, you know, maybe I will. But you know, I'm not going to ask you to ask your mom to let me stay at your parents' cabin. Okay, I'm just not going to do that. I appreciate it. It's very nice. It's kind. It's nice. It's a thoughtful gesture. I appreciate it. But from where I'm sitting, it's just hard to understand how you could think that you would send a message, a slutty retard gorilla nigger, and say, hey, come stay at my house. Like,
all right, so
it's the name too.
So stupid.
For starters, Nick assumed this person's gender.
Yeah,
which is a big no-no.
Just such a no-no.
With slutty is usually a girl, so I'm going to assume it's a female, and she just wants to get to know Nick Jr. better. Just you know,
Nick's not interested in that. But you know what Nick is interested in? Going on Candace Owens, and this happened, and this is why we're showing the clip. Is Nick is a lot of people call Nick an anti-Semite. Now, Nick also had a really good clip where he was talking about Ben Shapiro. He's like, listen, Ben Shapiro is one of the most dedicated, hardest working people I've ever met. I don't like him, and I don't agree with what he says, but he is loyal to the Jews. He's loyal to Israel, and you have to respect that. Mel Lowe for half a steak, $51.99. Mel Lowe, we love you. Thank you, sweetie.
Thanks, Mel.
And so he goes on Candace Owens, and I am just going to say the following. Candace Owens is now in the Dinesh D'Souza category, and I love Dinesh. He just absolutely obliterated Nick Fuentes. But the one thing I don't like about Nick Fuentes or Dinesh D'Souza is we have the evidence of the stolen election, and it's called 52 Mules or whatever the fuck it was. And it's the most important film of your life. You must watch it. You have to see it. But it's going to be behind the paywall.
We got an order.
I know. Candace Owens just put out the most influential interview with Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens for $1.99. And I'm here to say that she learned a lot from her boss, Ben Shapiro, because that's about the most Jewish thing she could do. So good job, Candace, by putting something like this behind a paywall. And you know what? I get really frustrated because it's all about the money. If this truly was something important and people needed to hear it, you should not have put it behind a paywall. I think it's wrong. I think it's what you accuse Jewish people of doing, but it's what you're doing. And I'll tell you what, I know plenty of people in this industry who put out product for free and take care of people. Barry Morgenstein's one of them. Damani Felder, Chris Tanto Peranto. We saw Ryan Weaver the other night. And I can go on and on, a list of people who do nothing but give and give and give. And the fact that Candace Owens literally bashes and calls Nick Fuentes every name in the book and then puts a paywall behind their show, I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what you think, Liv.
Yeah, I think it's crappy. I mean, it's not pay-per-view. I mean, I don't think you should be, you know, if you're going to charge people, at least charge them a monthly to be able to be a part of your show.
Well, and why not put it on X? Because ultimately, I don't think she wants him to gain any followers or viewers. And like,
and here's the other thing: $1.99 for the interview. Really?
Well,
it seems a little cheap.
Well, if 100,000 people pay it,
that's true.
Then it's, you know, if we do $1.99 for the Dumb Club, and we make like $72 a month off of it, big deal. But it's still, some people can't give any other way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think Candace Owens has really sold out. And she likes to go ahead and claim, you know, that Jews are bad and they're all about the money and all this other crap. She almost did it. I told you.
Nope, that was me. I was moving.
And you know what? For someone who says that somebody's all about the Benjamins, she seems to be all about the Benjamins. This is a video that I had to show. And this is actually a former NHL player, Nick Tarnasky. And let me tell you, there's two things you need to understand. The smallest and weakest NHL player, I would never fight. I would literally fight them from 100 yards away. But they're on the golf course. I don't know the whole story. But this guy is drunk, and he's squaring off with Tarnasky. And let me tell you something. you don't want to get in a fight with a hockey player on solid ground because they fight on skates. Their balance is impeccable, and you're going to get your ass rocked. Well, Tarnasky does everything he can, and I want you to see this because I'm not a big violence guy. I don't like MMA, but this is hilarious because it's hockey. This is the golf course. This guy right here decides to start talking crap and wants to fight, and I don't think he understands that this is an NHL former player. Watch this. Liv's going to love this. There is some language here. I apologize, but this is hilarious.
You guys need to get off the golf course. Go now. Like, pack up, go now. Get in the car and go. I don't know what you're doing. You're not scaring anybody. You're just making yourself.
All right, so the guy he just pushed and hit is Tarnasky. You notice how he pushes him and doesn't move.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey.
He just pushes him into the river and down the hill.
Hey. Off to a good start, buddy. I fucking told
Did you hear him? Off to a good start, buddy.
you. Man, leave him alone. You want another? You want one too? Came at me. I got it all on record. I got it all on record.
And then he grabs him by his shirt like a hockey player. Now look at his
totally a hockey player.
He's got him out by his entire body length, and look at his reach, and he's cocked and ready to go. You guys, you don't want to fight a hockey player.
Was he
NHL?
an enforcer?
Thumper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you want to fucking go, guys? Hey, leave him alone, man. I wouldn't keep going back, you fucking moron. Hey. Bang! Come on, man.
Watch this shit.
Enough! Are you still cheering on? Enough! Get out!
Watch this.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Just
Jeez.
across the fucking
hey. Get him the fuck out of here!
Wow, he's pissed.
It's not okay. Take him home or get him fucking out of here. Fucking get moving. I said stop looking like an idiot. Get out of here. Fucking.
Wow. Who did Tarnasky play for?
I don't. Might have been a Panther. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't care. The point is, don't get in a fight.
That's hilarious. He's saying bang when he's
Oh
hitting him.
Bang, bang. I mean,
Making his own sound effects.
don't mess with a hockey player. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
definitely.
kept coming back for more, and then he just picked him up and ragdolled him. Jim Carrey was on. Oh, you know what? I don't care about Jim Carrey. This is what happened in Camarillo with ICE when ICE was leaving. These are the people. Now, remember, they were sex trafficking kids. You didn't get to, or they were. Excuse me. No, they were not sex trafficking kids. Apologize. This is in Camarillo, right outside of Oxnard, Ventura, where I grew up, and I used to go down Laguna. Right here, there were eucalyptus trees, and these were all broccoli fields. Well, now they're pot farms, and they grow marijuana.
Yay.
Well, this marijuana distribution and growth plant had 10 children working there. 8 of them were unaccompanied. Children working who were illegals. So ICE raided it.
Good.
And they went after these people. And then this is the protest that took place. One of them shot at ICE agents. So that you had one killed in Texas, and now you have them shooting at ICE agents. And this is getting serious. I mean, this is getting to a point because the left media is absolutely losing their fucking mind over this. And these people are illegals. 200 people were arrested for being illegal. This is slave labor. This is against the law. And Democrats are like, how dare you save the children? And this is their response when these ICE vehicles were leaving. Check this out. Oh, turn off the fucking music and copyright idiots. You don't need to hear the music.
Jesus.
Now, this person gets their bike totally tattooed, and she's like, you ran over my bike. You're damn right I did. Look at this crap. This is assault with a deadly weapon. Shut up, Yenny. Well, listen, I'm to the point where if someone's doing that, you open fire on them, don't you?
You would think.
I mean, this is assault. Look at this guy. He goes right to the driver's window and just throws one. I mean, that's assault with a deadly weapon, is it not? I mean, it's a
Yes,
rock,
it
for
is.
God's sake.
It really is.
So what do you do? Do you open fire on them? Do you run them over with your car? What do you do? It's going to get to that point, isn't
I
it?
just don't understand this.
I don't know, guys, but I'm telling you, it's getting pretty serious.
You guys need to get.
And you know, I don't know what. Here's the farm that was raided. Phone call from British Columbia. Hi.
I wonder who that could be.
It's our gay North Dakotian friend. It's Mel.
Yeah.
Hi, Mel.
Oh, shocking.
Good to have
Yeah,
you.
no, 'cause
How are you doing up there in Canada?
it's very, very warm.
It's warm.
Is
eh?
it like, what, 60 degrees?
Do they have those mosquitoes up there, or are they just
no,
no?
Olivia, it's close to 90 degrees.
Oh, holy cow.
Oh, so you use that English stuff, huh? Okay.
I'm using the American term. It's 90 degrees.
That's
Yes, it's 31 degrees Celsius here. It's 90 plus degrees here.
That
where I am
that
today.
doesn't sound nipply at all. It sounds kind of like it's a
No.
little hot, eh?
I know, but actually it's really funny because next door to Alberta, and just north of Calgary, it snowed yesterday for the last 2 days. So
Yeah.
it's hilarious. up
Didn't
there.
it just
So,
snow in Detroit or something? I just thought I thought I saw that down here in the States. That it snowed a
Yeah.
little bit. Well,
Yeah, so
what can we do for you up in there in Canada?
Well, I'm just saying that actually Laura Ingram tonight goes, and actually she had a really good point that these ice guys and whatever have to get out of their vans and start taking these people out. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is bullshit.
Yeah, you do.
And Laura
Investors
was
who have
like,
showed up
she
to the
was
golf course.
forked tonight, whatever, watching and doing the same, like the same video clip that you just showed.
Yeah.
And she goes, no. And she says, I know, and it's going to get ugly and people are going to get hurt, but it's got to stop. Like, this is bullshit.
So what do you do? Do you put a TAC team in that van and the moment, put like 2 or 3 guys with a riot shield and some rubber bullets, and as the moment that you assault one of those vehicles, they pop out and they just literally go to town? I mean, what do you do?
You betcha. You betcha.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing they're going to understand. It's got to stop. And of course, that guy that was shooting from behind the vehicles in the video, whatever, they'll find that. But the bricks and stuff that they were throwing into the windows and bricking shit, like whatever, like, no, I'm sorry. The federal, whatever, people have authority to do this shit, and they've got to stand. Like, I know there's not many of them. I understand that. But there's got to be an impasse in California. That's where the stand is going to be. If they can stand up and take this crap down, because I'm sure those 9 kids that they got, or 10, they weren't the only 9 or 10 kids at that place. So
Oh no. No. You take that by the amount of farms in California. There has got to be, I could look it up, but there's probably 2,500 to 3,500 farms in California.
Yeah.
Easily. Oh no, God, there's more. There's 10,000. I mean, just the winery, the vineyards, the pecan farms in Bakersfield. There's fucking thousands of acres.
Exactly.
So
300,000 missing kids, 300,000 missing kids, and they keep finding little pockets, whatever. And I'm sure that during just that one little whatever, they got those 10 or 9 or whatever. But I know that there were more, probably double, triple, quadruple, 10 times more than that. That's where these kids are. Like, this is sad. It's sick. And, instead of worrying more about the Epstein shit, how about worrying about the shit that's going on right now? Because it's called slavery, modern day slavery, indentured service. And that's what the people should be upset about, not protecting this illegal whatever. These people are only trying to pay off their traffickers that got them into the country. And unfortunately, that cycle is not going to stop until these people and kids are rescued from these situations.
But can't we focus on both, Mel? I mean, don't we have enough people in the government, and we have 5,600 people that the people that the president are directly responsible for hiring? Don't we have enough people, enough MAGA supporters to handle multiple situations like Epstein, like the border, like fentanyl, and go after multifaceted problems versus one at a time? I mean, I don't think that's what you're saying, but I think that's what a lot of people are saying. Let's focus. Trump said it. Let's focus on the most important things.
No. We can multitask. We can chew gum and walk and at the same time. Like, and that's where my thing with Pam Bondi is. She shouldn't be on TV. She was left a shit show for Merrick Garland for all the rest of the other crap that was going on. She shouldn't even have time to be on TV other than maybe once every couple of months going,
oh yeah. Yeah, like here's a case closed. Here's an announcement. By the way, Karen Vera says there's 63,000 farms in California. So let's just assume there is how about just 2 kids per farm? One kid per farm. 63,000 kids, 120,000 kids. But you can see that it's not going to be that. But there might be a farm with 30 kids on it. There might be a farm with 10 kids. But if you want to know where all those kids are, I guarantee you this is why they're pointing the compass in this direction, is because they're finding that a lot of this stuff is these legal workers. And people are like, well, you can't take all of our cooks and all of our dishwashers. Fine. But we're going to have to solve this problem. This reminds me of the South that wanted slave labor. In the South, you can't do this. It's going to bankrupt our country, our southern colonies. Well, that's what. No shit. Who's going to pick our cotton? Who's going to pick our strawberries? How about you, fucker?
Exactly. Fuck off. Like, no, this has got to stop. And this is, and you know, for all the whatevers, the slavery people who want reparations, and like, it's happening right now in your own country, right in front of your own eyes, except with a different population right now. So how about you get off the goddamn bandwagon and figure, like, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And these kids, there's 300,000 plus. We don't know how many, because that was just a ballpark figure. There was never, and a lot of these kids, there's 50 or 60 of them registered to one person who was a criminal.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, like, so this Biden, oh yeah, they're all vetted. Like, no, they didn't have time to vet as many people that they were pushing across the border. It was all bullshit, smoke and mirrors. It was all crap. And right now you've got modern day slavery, and you've had it for a long time in the States with this this working whatever and the cartel, whatever, because it's always been under the table. It's been there for a really long time, but now it's at the forefront. It's like, no. And after the border rush for the last 4 years, it is now very prominent going, yeah, so all these people don't want their house cleaners and gardeners and all their whatevers and their cotton pickers and strawberry pickers and whatever to go away because, well, it's going to cost money. I'm like,
well,
really?
that's the way it happened. Maybe you can listen. If there was less competition in the agricultural business, maybe white people could actually make some fucking money. But the reason why white people don't fucking mow lawns, well, they do out here in where we live because basically we're the clan. You know, they don't is because of the competition, and they get undercut because people are sending this money back to Mexico. If dishwashers weren't paid minimum wage and restaurants actually had to pay them well, there's people who would wash dishes for a living. I washed dishes when I was a 16-year-old kid. It's not a lifetime job, but you have kids. I got to do this, Mel. Hold on. Mel, Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk were just on TPUSA. By the way, Matt Gaetz was not at TPUSA, and everyone's like, he's going to be the attorney general. Matt Gaetz is not going to be the attorney general of the United States. You people need to stop. He very well could be a special counsel, but he's not going to be. But here's Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk talking about Epstein possibly being a Mossad agent. I want to get your perspective, Olivia. I want to get yours. Mossad is the intelligence agency for Israel. There's also another agency, but we can't talk about that one. But there's multiple. Yeah. But this is something that we should talk about because I'm really interested to see this red pill bullshit that's taking place. And now it's hitting TPUSA. What is going on here? Listen to this. Maybe. Come on.
Do you think there's any intel community involvement in this?
I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I am convinced, based on my own sources and my own reporting on this story, He wasn't one of ours.
So he was an American, which leads basically three options: MI6, Saudi, or Mossad.
Yep.
Which one would you choose?
I guess Mossad, given his connection to Ghislaine Maxwell.
So what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's possible that that's the reason everything's getting buried, that there is some treasure trove, and it's getting buried because...
How many people here believe that? Raise your hand. Okay, I'd say about half the hands think that it's being buried because of an Israeli thing.
It could be. I really don't know.
I have no evidence to suggest that.
No, me neither.
I'm just asking questions.
Very odd how, look, half of you raised your hands because you've heard that theory, you've heard it debated, you have questions, but the one time Pam Bondi was asked a question about this at the cabinet meeting on Monday, she was like, and as for whether he was an agent, that I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I'll get back to you. You haven't looked into it? What do you mean? So that was kind of a fishy answer.
And Megan, remember Alexander Acosta in 2007?
Yes.
He said he was told to treat Epstein carefully because he was an intel asset.
Yeah,
that was one of Trump's cabinet secretaries who was literally a U.S. attorney 3 hours from here in Florida.
Okay, so I'm just going to chime in, and then I want.
Epstein is a Jewish name, right?
Yes. So therefore, yes, and Ghislaine Maxwell's father worked for Mossad. We understand this. And they had used other, but folks, let me explain something to you. The Colombia cartel and the Cali cartel worked for the CIA. Al Qaeda worked for the CIA. Osama bin Laden worked for the CIA. Howard Hughes worked for the CIA. And the Mojahedin worked for the CIA. The OSS ran. I guess sure we can. It doesn't matter. We ran. We ran Chechens through the CIA.
Yeah, don't go there.
Right, I'm not going there. So you guys need to understand something. There is no doubt in my mind that criminals are leveraged to do and turn evidence for the CIA. And when they catch these people doing something, they flip them. And this has been going on in the FBI and CIA forever. Is it possible that Epstein was working for an intelligence agency? Yes.
Yeah.
But what you don't seem to understand is that the United States themselves has hundreds of Epsteins doing the exact same level of work that Mossad is doing, MI6, that Saudi intelligence is doing, that the SKW is doing, that the SKK is doing, Polish intelligence is doing, Canada.
Yep.
They leverage the most corruptible parts of society in order to gain advantage in the counterintelligence and intelligence game. Does it matter if Epstein was working to leverage his underseated bullshit in the United States and Mossad was leveraging to gain access to people who might have been funding certain groups that were counterintuitive to their survival in the Middle East? No. I don't give a shit about that. And I don't give a shit if the CIA is doing it. I don't give a shit if the FBI is doing it because they're all doing it. And if you think that Benghazi was a fact-finding peace mission, we were fucking buying weapons off the black market that we sold to these people. We were keeping missile systems and weapon systems out of the hands so they weren't taking down passenger liners and they could stop taking down our Black Hawk helicopters with weapons that we sold them and that were from the Afghan war that were being backdoored through Greece and Turkey into the Afghanis' hands to fight Vietnam, which was Russia versus Afghanistan. This is all recent memory. So I understand where people are like, oh my God, Israel's involved or Mossad's involved or Saudi intelligence is involved. Therefore, they condone pedophilia. No. That's not what's happening. What they're doing is using these people to do their bidding in the intelligence world, which is a nasty, ugly fucking business.
It is the dirtiest business in the world.
It is. And you have to take a shower after working in it. And my level inside of it was just enough to feel dirty.
There's not enough showers in the world to take that off. But in order to stop a lot of stuff that goes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get down, got to get dirty. And unfortunately, I'm sorry. And people are not going to understand that don't have ever been in the world will never understand. It is what it is. It is what you have to do
right
to get where we are. Like, yeah.
Big difference
It's
between
dirty.
working an asset, working a contact,
Yeah.
and running a blackmail operation that's supported by Mossad. I think people need to understand that this is probably the truth. There are billionaires, there are personalities and celebrities and politicians globally. And if you release the people who did this, you're talking trillions of dollars in the global economy that will be affected. And you're going to open up corporations to be sued, class action lawsuits, arrests, and you're going to find that this goes down not just from the boards and the executives, but it's going to go down to middle management. You're going to find that this corporate fucking vacations were probably chartered for people to do this. They were probably given out like golf memberships to the local country club. Yeah. This shit is going to go deep because I'm telling you right now, if you do the math psychologically and you look into this, 1 out of 5 men have thoughts and impure thoughts about people under the age of 16 years old. That is fucking terrifying. Yeah. And people act on this, and it is a sickness and it is a cancer in the society. And I'm telling you, this runs deeper than we know. We just don't know. So go ahead, Mel.
But this is more than just society. Like in this day and age, like this is what people don't understand. Like having gone to all these other weird countries and whatever, and seen what I've seen and experienced whatever, I'm like, it's inbred, it's generational, it is, they sell their own, and they don't understand. Like this is indentured slavery for all these people around the world. The sex trade has been around for millennia. It is the one, like whatever. And to see what I've seen in different countries, and I'm like, oh my God. And these are vacation spots for
Japan and Tokyo, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sumatra, Philippines. Oh, the child in Japan, they literally ensure that based upon the height, the skirts are measured so their panties show when they sit down. This is how this is not a joke. They make them work.
In Japan, I know. Whatever, they sell underwear in
the vending machines used. I know. I was there. I lived there. I know. It's fucking. I after me buying 75 pairs, I got kind of grossed out, Mel. It was sick.
Understand that 99 Joe Q public of your listening audience doesn't understand.
No, they don't know
what is out there because they haven't traveled outside the bubble.
Yep, pedophilia is normalized in a lot of societies, and it's fucking disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely disgusting, and it goes on every hour of every day, every minute, whatever. And I got in. Well, I'll just say I got into a fight with a Mama San in Manila at one of the clubs because all these young girls who are the same age as my kids that were at home, and they're in their bikinis and they're dancing on the stage and whatever. And I'm like, so I'm here with the boys from the boat, whatever, in this club. And I'm like, run by Australians. And I'm like, okay. And got free champagne, got free whatever. And I'm like, I got on stage with these young girls and started like whatever. And the young girls were like,
video of this?
Oh. No.
Oh.
And Mama San was so pissed. I got thrown. And then the Australian guys go, yeah, can't throw her out because she's like whatever and have connections to the boats and whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got in a fight with the Mama San in fucking the Philippines and helping like, cause the girl, like it was so disgusting.
Oh, of course
so
it is.
Sad.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It was horrible. It was just absolutely fucking horrible. And it goes on. Like
so let's put a bow. Let's put a bow on this because there's something else I want to show you, and then I want to circle back. I am not. I agree with Karen. Karen says then that statement should be made. Then not stringing people along for years. I can accept the truth. Just don't BS me. Karen, yes, I said that on the show. Then they shouldn't have released the document. They shouldn't have made sure it was leaked. Yes, I want accountability. I want them to say something. Liv, do you have anything? Do you have anything else on this subject versus us going to Melania and Donald Trump?
Well, I had something we were talking about ICE in California and when they were raiding that farm. It kind of blows my mind that when you were there working for Apple, the labor laws for the employee, the employer had like no rights. I don't know how many times you would have an employee that would be late every single day of the month for their entire schedule, and you couldn't even write them up because of the labor laws. The employer has absolutely nothing. The employer can't do shit.
Not at Apple. Not at Apple.
Not at Apple. But you can't in California. But then you've got these farms over here that are not even employing children. They're making children work.
Yeah, it's slave labor.
And it's ridiculous. Where are the laws for them? Where are the labor laws?
Well, they don't care as long as the elite get their slaves. Exactly. Listen, this is a Democrat-run city. Democrats love slaves. Do you guys understand how much these inner cities make and how much funding they get by the federal government? And that money is literally rerouted outside of the most impoverished areas of these cities.
Mm-hmm.
This is such bullshit. It's the biggest scam in the world. They've been running these modern day slave plantations, and instead of doing bales of cotton, they're literally keeping people impoverished, just like the school districts are, in order to get their check for their bodies in the seats. This is Democrat policy. This is it's not a secret. It's not a secret why they want to keep the populations down and why they use eugenics and they're splitting up the family home, because it's better for them to have single mothers that they can give a little stipend to keep creating Democrat voters, but they keep them on the chain. But if they get too many, it ultimately isn't cost indicative to continue to have these people reach out on welfare. So they have a very fine balance. Why do you think the amount of people on welfare hasn't ballooned since Obama? It's been stagnant under Biden. It's been stagnant under Trump because that's what Obama did. He put more people on welfare and food stamps than any other president in history combined, all of them combined. That was a method. There was a reason. So it's not difficult to understand the Democrats' methods. The problem is you need to read this book, The Woke Mind Viruses. T.S. Dixon's going to be here in house on the 24th. I'm not trying to sell you a book, but he explains it in this book. It is fantastic. In fact, Keith Baker just bought that and bought a Still Point shirt. Do you see how I just looped all that shit together? Do you understand how good I am at this? Folks, watch this, watch this video. This is Melania Trump, First Lady, and President Trump shaking the hands in Kerrville, Texas. And I want you to watch it, what these firemen and women do. You can see this, Mel, yeah?
Yep.
This is beautiful, man. Watch this.
It was. I love the best part. The guys take the hats off and tuck them on.
Such respect.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
Total respect. Like, it's just, yeah.
That's the way she deserves to be treated. That woman has done nothing, and the left are just fucking savages. Yep,
I know.
I'm aware it's Camarillo, California. By the way, it's not an E, it's an A. I lived in Ventura, Oxnard, and played football against Camarillo, and spray painted a few walls at Camarillo High School. So yeah, I know Camarillo very well. I used to play in those broccoli fields and in the barrancas all up and down Santa Paula, Camarillo, Ventura, Oxnard, Port Hueneme. Yeah, and I was there before. Literally, you can get stabbed, raped, and killed. Not in that order. In Oxnard. Mel, take us out with your 1 minute, then we're going to give it to Olivia. Folks, if you have not had a chance to donate, now is the time. We have a whole bunch of people on. My God, great to see so many people on. Nice number on Facebook and X. We've got a lot on Rumble and Wimkin, but listen, even if it's $1, if $5, $10, doesn't matter. It helps the show and keeps us going. Yes, we've hit our goal for tonight, but we always like to end it on a bang. So you've got about 3 minutes to make that happen. Go to thedumbshow.com/donate. You can use Apple Pay. You can use Venmo, PayPal, credit card, debit card. It's all 512 megabytes of encryption, and it is all 100% secure. You can do that donation. There's no strings attached. There's nothing else. You can just say, hey, we hate you. Here's some money, or we love you, and here's some money. We don't care. You get to decide. Mel, you got your minute. Give it to us.
I'd like to thank the 2 or 3 people that are new on the site tonight. And don't be afraid. Age doesn't matter. Call into the show. If you have questions or whatever, Matt will answer them. And don't be afraid. Like, hey, it took me a bit to phone in originally back in the day, but yeah, no.
That's because she's a Canadian pussy, eh?
I'm a Canadian on top of it, so yeah. So I'm not quite that educated, but yeah, it is good, and I love the show. I've been here for a long time, and don't be afraid.
Mel's amazing. We love her.
Your comments, your questions, just Matt will answer them, and he's not picking on you. He's not whatevering. He will answer, and it's honest. This is an honest show. And that's all I have to say. Love you guys.
And we love you too, kiddo. You're amazing. We love you, buddy. Thank you. We love Mel. Folks, we
Keith, I already put it in. I thought we called you out. I'm sorry if you missed it. But yes, thank you very much for the 40.
We put the 40 in?
Yeah.
Oh. Keith, I thought I said something. If I didn't, thank you very, very much. Keith, I apologize. I think we got you because you bought a shirt and a hat or a book and a shirt, and then that too. But either way, we want to say thank you to everybody. Olivia, you got your time. It's the end of the weekend. I know tonight was one of those shows where I went off too much, and I'm sorry, and I apologize, and I will make it up to you.
We'll talk about Barbie on Monday.
No, we'll do it now. No, we got to do it now. No, we got to do this
seriously.
now. No, we really have to do this now. I even saved the clip for you.
Oh, there's a clip.
Yeah. So you got to do. I'm so sorry. I don't ever want to do that to you. So we're gonna do it now. We have to.
I just saved a news story for you, but
you want to what?
I just said I just saved the news story for you. I'm like, I didn't know there was a news clip.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you do you just want me to show the video first?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barbie doll has Mattel, the one of the wokest of the woke, has released some new information. Olivia caught her eye, and I'm so sorry I almost passed this up because this is great. I was looking forward to this. Here it is. I am happy she's brown hair, brown eyed. She's kind of smoking hot. I'm just saying for,
She is wearing a continuous glucose monitor on her arm, an insulin pump on her waist, and she even carries a T1D supply bag, just like so many kids do every day.
And I noticed that she also has the blue dot that represents diabetes awareness.
So glad you noticed that. We have all the details in, and we even partnered with Breakthrough T1D. They are the leading global type 1 diabetes research and advocacy organization. We even worked with kids and community members to make sure we got every detail right.
I'm on my way to surprise Nadia and Mia, 2 amazing girls I met through Breakthrough T1D.
Oh, that's so cool. I have 2 younger siblings, and every day we play like Barbies with each other. So I'm so excited to be able to play with one. I'm excited.
This doll is about representation, about showing kids with T1D that they are strong, seen, and unstoppable. Somos Barbie.
So she is wearing a continuous glucose monitor.
All right, Liv, go go do your worst.
Seriously? Just stop. Just stop. It's Barbie. I mean, my God, just leave it Barbie. I mean, why does it have to be so inclusive? Come on. Really, seriously, just let them be Barbie. That's great. I'm glad they made a black Barbie doll. I'm glad they made a Native American. Awesome.
It wasn't Barbie, it was Barquisha. Barquisha
Awesome.
was her name.
But what are we gonna have next?
Chemo Barbie?
Are we gonna get like a
comb her scalp?
You know what? I'm petitioning
Breast
Mattel.
cancer Barbie?
No, I want the hermaphrodite Barbie.
Oh God, that would be awesome with a giant penis.
You know
you
what?
finally open it up, you're like, oh my God, look at that thing.
Mattel are discriminating against hermaphrodites. How dare you?
All right.
Come on, Mattel.
Stop banging the fucking table, please.
I'm trying to make my point.
First of all,
here.
this is a horrible take. This is a shit take. Did you see those little girls? They were so happy. Why can't there be a diabetic Barbie? What's wrong with that? I'm serious. It's not woke to me.
I think it's ridiculous.
Do they have Down syndrome Barbie?
I think they do.
They do. They do. And you know what? It
do.
made all those down. We covered that a couple of years ago. I think it's okay. I think this is all right. I think Barbie transcends. Listen, it transcends skin color. It transcends sickness. We've had space Barbie. We've had DA Barbie. We've had President Barbie, Down syndrome Barbie. We've had, BIPOC, fucking lesbian, transgender Jew Barbie. Does it matter? I don't know. But I think, chubby Barbie. Do they have amputee Barbie?
They don't have amputee Barbie. They have chubby Barbie.
Well, here's what it comes down to. If it makes a couple kids happy who are diabetic, then great. You know what I mean? But it is kind of, here's the problem.
Here's the thing. That Barbie doll is going to cost like $85.
Right.
And then you're going to have to pay $150
and then you're gonna have to,
a month.
Right. You're going to have to feed your kid Lay's potato chips and Snickers bars because you're not going to have any money.
They're going to have to buy more insulin packs for him. It's going to, they're going to have to pay all that money for the insulin packs.
Listen, I see where you're coming from. Like, Barbie is supposed to be a rich glam and fashion. It's like chemotherapy Barbie. What do? Comb her baldness?
Exactly.
I understand. But you know what? I'm sure there's kids that would really appreciate a Barbie who's been through chemotherapy. I don't care. It's for kids. And as long as kids are enjoying it, but if I see adults buying this shit and rocking it, like, oh my God, I got my insulin pop Barbie I didn't have when I was 16. I'm going to punch you in the twat. But for kids, I'm a little bit less of a cynic than Olivia is. She obviously hates children.
Obviously, considering what I do for a living, totally. How would I,
Sandy, kids can make them amputee on their own. Isn't that true? You can pop that out and, hey, Frank Wood, $50. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, you can. A lot of kids will make chemotherapy Barbie. A lot of kids will shave their heads.
Trans Barbie's coming soon. I have no doubt.
No doubt.
Call it, I don't know, what would you call it? A buddy doll or a Bobby doll or?
No, it's going to be a male that has transitioned into a female.
Bobby's a male name.
So
Roberto doll. He, she, they, them.
It's not going to have a name. Don't assume their gender. Ugh.
I don't care. You know what? I don't care. If it makes somebody with diabetes happy, then great. Seriously, if it makes a transgender person or a lesbian person, I don't give a fuck. But here's what it comes down to, is that you can't please everyone all the time. And what you're saying is that everyone gets a Barbie doll.
Not everyone gets a medal.
Here's the problem.
Not everyone gets a freaking prize.
And no matter how inclusive you make Barbie, they're overpriced, and there's going to be a group of people that cannot afford them. So you're automatically all about inequality anyway. Exactly. Because that's the thing. It's going to be $85, like Olivia said, and poor kids aren't going to be able to do it. You know how many broccoli and hemp how many marijuana buds they're going to have to pick for that? That's a lot.
I'm waiting for illegal immigration, Barbie.
Donald Trump makes buying Barbies impossible for illegal immigrants. That's next. That's going to be the headline tomorrow.
Yep.
They need to. Inflation has made Barbie dolls $85. Donald Trump's at fault. This is the next headline. Butch Barbie. I like that.
Yeah. Although they did make a Barbie cartoon when Hayden was little, and I watched with her, and it honestly was the funniest thing I've ever watched.
They
in my
were
entire
pretty
life.
funny. And
Because
they were
made
self-inflicting.
Fun of Barbie, and they made.
I watched
fun
it
of
with
them,
you.
and
I thought it was great.
Freaking hilarious. I loved it.
It was wonderful. It wasn't woke at all. Plus, she's smoking hot. Probably the hottest Barbie I've ever seen because she's got brown hair and brown.
Does she look like Emily Campagna?
I don't know. They need to take off her clothes to find out. I don't know.
Oh my God!
I've never seen the top of Emily Campagna's head. Are you going to get a hold of her?
The only.
If she comes on, I'm literally just going to explode. Like I'm just going to die because it's going to be you and her, and I'm just going to be like lesbian stuff.
The only
take photos.
She communicates with fans is through Instagram, and the only way you can contact anyone on Instagram is if they follow you as well. She's not followed me yet, so there's no way to get a hold of her except for that.
You need to send her some boob pics or something.
All I want to do is. Apparently, when she was a kid, she worked at a ranch in Montana, and I want to see what ranch it was.
Yeah, that's all I care about, too. I just want to see what ranch she was on.
And Def Leppard's her favorite band. So,
there is a lot of similarities between Olivia and Emily Campagna. So we need to, if somebody knows Emily, Deirdre, get busy.
Yeah, if anyone has Emily's ear, I really just want to ask about the ranch, because that's when I was like, oh, I got to ask, because that would be really cool.
Hey, here's one last thing.
Because she's only like a year older than me, so
Really?
Yeah.
She's older than you?
Mm-hmm.
God, she looks like she's 25.
Actually, no, she's 4 months older than me. We graduated
There's
the same year.
no way. She looks like she's like fucking 25, but you look young too.
It's November of 79.
Yeah, you look super young.
So we're
from
the
behind.
same age.
What?
You're a dick. We're the same age. We graduated the same year. So
compliment.
She's just only.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I might want to backpedal on my Barbie comment. Is there a MAGA Barbie? Fuck them. There's not a MAGA. There's not a Make America Great Again Barbie, is there?
They need no. They
Fuck
don't.
them. You're not inclusive. That's half of America. Well, half of voters with parents. So you don't really care about inclusivity. You care about virtue signaling to sell dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, folks. Fentanyl zombie Barbie. I like that.
And you know what? If you really want to make little kids happy, there is a person out there who makes dolls, and she gives these. Just listen.
Oh yeah,
she
no,
gives
I remember
these
this.
dolls
Yep.
to the kids for free.
Yep. This is
And
great.
she relies on donations, but it's kids who look different, who have cancer, who've lost all their hair, who have got like maybe the hair lip or whatever it is, or they've got, strawberry marks on them, or where is it where your skin is different colors, where it's the vitiligo or whatever it is, where the pigment in your skin is off in different parts. So it could be dark and then white in other parts. So like that. And kids with sickness and stuff like that. She makes these dolls and she gets a picture of the child and then she makes the doll to look like the child. So the child actually has a doll that looks like them and that they can love. And I think it is.
Holy shit, that's one ugly kid.
Oh my God,
I'm just
Matthew.
kidding. No, it's
it is
sweet.
the coolest thing. And she gives it to him for free, that she doesn't
That's sweet.
charge these people. But it is the most
Her name is
amazing thing.
Amanda Jandrisevitz.
Yeah, it is the most amazing thing, and it is awesome. And I think that's great.
cool.
It's better than freaking diabetes Barbie that's going to cost them $85. I think it's fantastic, and it makes these kids. It makes these kids feel amazing. The middle one, that's what I was talking about.
That is so
And
sweet.
it's just awesome that she does this. So that is a cause I could get behind. And that is somebody that needs our support, not freaking Mattel.
Her name is Amy Jandrisevitz, and she is a pediatric oncology unit nurse. I don't have her. It's called Passion Project, a nonprofit mission, A Doll Like Me. And I don't have her URL, but you can find it from there. And that is a pretty cool thing. See, that's cool. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That's neat. By the way, folks, just want to let you know, we still don't have any answers on Butler, Pennsylvania. We don't know who he was. We don't know who his parents are. We have no idea why he had multiple different phones and multiple accounts with overseas accounts. We don't know anything about the Crooks douche plow. We don't know anything about, what was the other guy's name? Wrath, whatever.
Is that the
Wrath
dude
and
at
Crooks. Crooks and Wrath, both of it. Yeah, at the golf course. It was Wrath. We don't know anything about him, his ties to Ukraine, his arrests, 70 some odd arrests, and how the fuck did he get a gun? Where did he get a gun? How did he drive all the way from where he did to Florida? We don't know anything about J6. We don't know how many FBI agents were on the field that day. We don't know if they had confidential informants that day. We haven't heard anything about the COVID bullshit between China, the vaccines, the forced mandates, how the vaccines and some of the reports that are coming out, nobody's talking about it. We haven't heard anything about the Epstein files. We haven't heard anything about any arrests that have been made outside of that. We didn't hear anything about how Democrats use political lawfare against Donald Trump. Nobody's been arrested for that. Russian collusion. We got Comey and Brennan, but what's going to happen? Nothing. Spy tapes, P-tapes, E. Jean Carroll, 96 indictments of Donald Trump. Haven't heard anything about that. What about the election? What about the ballot harvesting and stuffing ballots into deep blue cities? What about the 90-10 splits? It's never happened before in any election, but it only happened in swing states. The rest of the country was a 60-40 split, either one way for Biden or Trump. What happened? Who sent out the 50 million ballots? Why did they send them out? Why did they use executive judges? Which judges received money?
Probably
Which
the
one
ones
were
that
on,
are blocking Trump in every corner right
Which
now.
ones were on Democrat payroll? When is it that the judicial branch can go ahead and make legislation, and it's not responsibility of the state legislator and the state's constitution to decide how they handle elections? Even under emergency powers should be falling under the governor.
What's going on with what's her name, Fannie whatever from New York, the DA?
Right, Letitia James. I want to know, or Fannie Willis, or whatever. What's going on there? What's going on with Joe Biden? What's going on with Burisma? What's going on with the money laundering? What's going on with multiple confidential documents? 5 times told the lawyers that he gave everything to the government, but didn't. Why did he have access to these top secret documents? I mean, listen, maybe you can understand why MAGA's upset. We're not upset about Epstein. We're sick and tired of having the rug pulled out from underneath us. We're sick and tired of being promised something that never comes out. Crossfire Hurricane, great example. How about those files? Let's release them. I want answers. You did not run on this and tell us that we should be concerned about this for this long, and then all of a sudden say, nah, it's okay because we're in here now. Because what happens when you're not in there anymore? I've got some concerns. I think Dan Bongino has some concerns too. We're going to find out. I pray to God it's not anything to do with his health. But right now we're hearing that Pam Bondi will not resign. Kash Patel says he will not resign, that these are rumors. It's not true. Let's find out. Let's give it that 24 to 48 hours, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking care of us. Please share this. Go out and give it to a friend, whatever. Our show's growing. We're doing better. We're working hard, and we appreciate you. Livy, thanks for being here tonight. I love you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We're out of here. We'll see you on Monday. Oh, weekend show. We're working on it. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. Bye.
Night, y'all.
Maybe.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.